Just you? The young man in embroidered clothes made his move. He sent out a pitch-black palm print, which made the ancestor of technique's heart palpitate. He couldn't be bothered to chase after Kong Ji. The ancestor of technique slashed out with all his strength, and a bright sword light burst out. Boom! With a deafening boom, the ancestor of technique's sword radiance hit the black palm print. The sword radiance couldn't withstand it and collapsed under a shock. The palm print didn't stop and continued to attack the ancestor of technique. The ancestor of technique used his sword to block, but he was sent flying thousands of miles away by the palm print. He spat out a mouthful of blood and his face was extremely pale. What a terrifying strength! Is this the fighting strength of the inner disciples of the unique Devil Academy? The ancestor of technique thought to himself, and a hint of helplessness appeared in his eyes. This young man in embroidered clothes had a cultivation as high as stage 6 True G. D realm. Moreover, his fighting power was extremely powerful, far from what Kong Ji and the like could compare to. Even if they were at the same level, the ancestor of technique wasn't confident that he could defeat this person. General, the people of the righteous army revealed looks of despair. Powerful. The inner sanctum disciple of the unique Devil Academy is indeed powerful. Ming, Kong Ji roared madly in his heart. His eyes were extremely ferocious. Your strength is not bad. It's not easy to have someone like you in the chaotic astral river. How about this? Hand over your secret technique. Also, in the future, become my dog and work for me. If you do that, I can spare your life. The young man in embroidered clothes had his hands behind his back and looked down at the ancestor of technique with an arrogant expression. Haha. The ancestor of technique laughed heartily. If you want to kill me, then kill me. If you want me to bow down and become your dog, dream on. Also, if you want my secret technique, dream on. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. The young man's face turned cold. Divine power circulated all over his body, and cold killing intent filled the air. At the same time, a battle blade as black as ink appeared in his hand. Buzz! A terrifying blade light flashed and slashed at the ancestor of technique. The ancestor of technique used all his strength to block with his sword. Clang! The sword light dissipated. The ancestor of technique grunted and flew thousands of miles away. He spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. His body was covered in small knife wounds. The ancestor of technique was no match for the young man in embroidered clothes. The difference in cultivation was too great. General, the faces of the righteous army turned pale with fright. Kong Ji and the others were naturally overjoyed. You really don't know your place if you want to fight against senior brother Luo. On the side, Kong Long, Sidu Shao, and the others sneered. I'll ask you one more time. Are you going to hand over the secret technique or not? The young man in embroidered clothes asked again. If you want to kill me, then kill me. If you want the secret art, then dream on. The ancestor of technique sneered. You're looking for death, dark demon divine blade. The young man was furious. His divine power burst forth, and all the power in his body gathered to form a terrifying blade light that charged toward the ancestor of technique. In his rage, the young man in embroidered clothes had already used his full power for this blade. The power was extremely shocking. An ordinary stage 5 True G. D would have been killed in one blade. The terrifying blade light pressed down on the ancestor of technique. The ancestor of technique would definitely not be able to withstand this blade and would die under it. General, the people of the righteous army cried out. If you die, then die. The ancestor of technique let out a long roar and used all his strength. Even if he was going to die, he would die brilliantly and die in battle. He would not just wait helplessly for death. Boom, boom, boom. However, at this moment, a violent boom came from the depths of the sky. Explosions kept ringing out in the air. Many people looked up subconsciously. That is, a starship. What a beautiful starship. What kind of starship is this? It actually charged into the atmosphere. Many people had different thoughts. An ordinary person would stop after entering the atmosphere on an interplanetary warship. However, this interplanetary warship didn't stop at all. It was heading straight for the headquarters of the Righteous Sky Army at an extremely fast speed. The young man in embroidered clothes was also stunned, because he realized that the Starry Sky battleship was actually charging toward him. His heart skipped a beat and he changed the direction of his blade. Instead of slashing at the ancestor of technique, he slashed at the Starry Sky battleship. Boom! The blade light hit the interplanetary warship, but the warship was not damaged at all. On the other hand, the young man in the brocade robe was forced back and almost spat out a mouthful of blood. The interplanetary warship also stopped in the air. Many people looked at the interplanetary warship, especially the people of the Righteous Army, with a hint of hope in their eyes. It was obvious that the starship was heading towards the young man. Did they come to help? Who is it? Get out here. The young man in embroidered clothes squinted his eyes and shouted angrily. Gotcha! The door of the starship opened and a figure walked out. Lu Ming, it's you. The first one to shout was none other than Kong Long. He had been thinking about taking revenge on Lu Ming every day. Naturally, he had a deep impression of Lu Ming and could recognize him at a glance. Lu Ming, it's him. Lu Ming is back. Why is it him? Did he bring the experts from the Kong Xian sect? The people from the Righteous Army were stunned. Then, the hope in their eyes intensified. They hoped that Lu Ming had brought the powerhouses from the Kong Xian sect. Then they might be saved today. It's this brat, Kong Ji, Sido Haonan, and the others' eyes also emitted a cold light. Lu Ming, the ancestor of technique, was also shocked. Boy, so you're Lu Ming. The young man in embroidered clothes looked at Lu Ming with a cold gaze. He had heard of Lu Ming's name before. First of all, Lu Ming had come in first in the previous Qin Tian 13 clan assessment. He had also heard Kong Ji, Sidu Xiao, and Sidu Feng mention him before. Lu Ming. The real one. Lu Ming smiled faintly and swept his gaze across the entire place. He secretly heaved a sigh of relief when he realized that everyone was fine. They had finally arrived. Who else from Kong Xian sect has come? Come out. Today, the Yimo Academy is doing something. Let's see who dares to stop us. The young man in embroidered clothes said coldly. His gaze skipped Lu Ming and looked at the door of the interplanetary warship. He did not take Lu Ming seriously at all. He was just a new disciple of the Kong Xian sect. He could kill him with one finger. Obviously, he had no idea about Lu Ming's performance in the Ice Soul clan. Otherwise, he would not have been so arrogant. Don't worry, I'm alone today. There's no one else. Lu Ming smiled faintly. He waved his hand and kept the interplanetary warship. What? Lu Ming is alone. This is terrible. Hearing this, the faces of the Righteous Army soldiers changed. They had some hope, but it turned into despair. Lu Ming was alone. What could he do? He couldn't change the outcome. Not good. The expressions of the ancestral dragon, the Tan Longhorn beetle, and the others also changed drastically. They were extremely worried. Haha, this kid actually came alone. He's really courting death. That's good. Today is the perfect day to get rid of him. It's killing two birds with one stone. I don't have to find a chance to kill him in the future. The heavens are really helping me. Kong Ji, Kong Long, Sidahaonan, and the rest laughed out loud in their hearts. They were extremely happy. At first, Lu Ming had joined the Kong Xian sect. His talent was also extremely shocking, which made them afraid. They had thought that after they had destroyed the Righteous Army, they would find a way to kill Lu Ming and get rid of future trouble. They did not expect Lu Ming to deliver himself to them. There was no reason for them to not be happy. One word, kill, idiot, ha. Kong Ji, Kong Long, Sidahaonan, and the rest laughed out loud in their hearts. They looked at Lu Ming as if he was an idiot. Lu Ming, hurry up and leave, the ancestor of technique shouted. Go. Where do you think you're going? Since you're here, don't leave. Kong Ji laughed coldly. With a flash, he, Sidahaonan, and the rest surrounded Lu Ming. They could tell that Lu Ming's Starry Sky warship was very advanced. Otherwise, he would not have been able to block the attack of the young man in embroidered clothes. Therefore, they blocked Lu Ming's escape route so that he would not take out the Starry Sky warship and escape. Did I say I was going to escape? Lu Ming smiled faintly, his expression calm. The ancestor of technique, the ancestral dragon, and the others were slightly stunned. They knew Lu Ming very well and knew that he was not a rash person. He was so calm at the moment. Could he have something to rely on? Kid, he'll send you on your way. Emokan, the supreme elder of the underworld hall, shouted and charged at Lu Ming. The powerful attack of a fourth-stage True Ji. D was like a wave, crushing toward Lu Ming. Not good. The ancestor of technique, ancestral dragon, and the others were all shocked. Fortunately, Lu Ming's parents, Chiu Yu, and the rest were hidden in a secret place due to their low cultivation levels. They did not witness this scene. Otherwise, they would have been scared to death. Die. Emokan sneered. You're the one who's going to die. Lu Ming's cold voice was heard. Suddenly, a spear's gleam burst out and pierced towards the baldacchino at an extremely fast speed. All of Emokan's attacks and defenses were as fragile as tofu in front of Lu Ming. The spear's gleam pierced through Emokan's glabella, leaving a hole that was clear from the front and back. Baldacan's eyes were wide open. He could not believe what was happening in front of him. Then, with a swoosh, his body fell to the ground and he was no longer breathing. He's really weak, Lu Ming muttered. Although they were all at the fourth stage True Ji. D realm, Emokan's combat strength was much weaker than in Hai, Lu Chang and the rest. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, he could kill them with a wave of his hand. How is that possible? Kong Ji, Sidahounen, and the others' eyes were wide open as if they had seen a ghost. Lu Ming actually killed the baldacchino in one move? CSI. They gasped and felt cold all over. They broke out in a cold sweat and could not help but retreat, putting some distance between them and Lu Ming. They were secretly glad that they weren't the ones who had attacked just now. Otherwise, they would have been dead. Impossible, this is impossible. The ones who were the most shocked were Kong Ji, Situ Xiao, and Situ Feng. They had all fought with Lu Ming before and were well aware of his cultivation and combat strength. But just now, Lu Ming actually killed Emokan casually. This was an existence at the fourth stage of True Ji. Lu Ming could actually kill a fourth stage True Ji. The existence? How many years had it been? Their hearts trembled, and they were filled with jealousy. Gulp. The ancestor of technique, ancestral dragon, Tan Longhorn and the others, as well as the people of the righteous army, couldn't help but swallow their saliva. They were tongue-tied and completely speechless. Clearly, Lu Ming's move earlier had shocked everyone. Didn't you all want to kill me? Why are you retreating so quickly? Lu Ming's gaze swept towards Kong Ji and the rest as he spoke indifferently. When Lu Ming's gaze swept across them, Kong Ji and the rest shivered. Kid, you have some combat strength. However, you are not arrogant enough in front of me. At this moment, the young man in embroidered clothes spoke. Divine power gushed out of his body, exuding a powerful aura that pressed down on Lu Ming. Well, know if it's enough after we fight. However, once you do, you have to be prepared that he'll be killed. Lu Ming turned to look at the young man in embroidered clothes and said coldly, I'm prepared to be killed by you. What a joke. A mere first stage True Ji. D wants to kill me? The young man's eyes were filled with a dense forest. He could not be bothered to waste his breath on Lu Ming. A terrifying saber light slashed at Lu Ming, trying to cut him in half. Buzz. The long spear in Lu Ming's hands trembled and swept out. The spear radiance was as thick as a mountain range, and it collided with the young man's saber radiance. Boom. With a loud boom, the blade light shook violently and then collapsed. The spear light did not stop and continued to sweep toward the young man in embroidered clothes. How is that possible? The young man in embroidered clothes roared in his heart. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Then he exploded with all his strength to resist Lu Ming's attack. However, when the spear ray pressed down, the young man in embroidered clothes screamed and his body flew out like a cannonball. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood. Many people rubbed their eyes, thinking that they had seen wrong. The young man in embroidered clothes was an inner disciple of the unique Devil Academy. The strength that he had just displayed was simply astonishing. However, at this moment, he seemed to be unable to withstand a single blow from Lu Ming and was completely crushed. Especially Kang Ji, Sita Haonan and the rest, they were almost scared to death. The people of the righteous army were ecstatic. Freak, freak. The person from the heaven realm muttered to himself. He was extremely shocked. Previously, some people felt that although Lu Ming could create miracles in the heaven realm and was the strongest prodigy in the history of the heaven realm, it would be difficult for him to rise up in the primeval universe. He would be lost in the crowd. However, they realized that they were wrong. They were very wrong. Monstrous, he was a monstrous wherever he went. Lu Ming could create miracles in the heaven realm and he could do the same in the primeval universe. They understood that Lu Ming's current achievements had far exceeded their imagination. This rate of improvement is really... The ancestor of technique's heart was also in turmoil and he could not calm down. Lu Ming had only joined the Kong Xian sect for a few decades. What did a few decades mean to AG? However, Lu Ming had achieved shocking results. You want to kill me with just this bit of strength? Lu Ming's cold voice was heard again. Once again, he swept his spear at the young man in embroidered clothes. Boom. This time, the young man in embroidered clothes was even more miserable. His body had been shattered, leaving only his head floating in the air. He was extremely frightened. I'll send you on your way, Lu Ming said coldly. No, don't. You can't kill me. I am an inner sect disciple of the unique Devil Academy. If you kill me, you will also die. The young man in embroidered clothes roared, hoping to use the unique Devil Academy to intimidate Lu Ming. Inner sect disciple of the unique Devil Academy? I'm sorry, I killed a bunch of them a while ago. Lu Ming pursed his lips. Although the luxuriously dressed youth's cultivation had reached the 6th stage of true G, O, D realm, one stage higher than Lu Shankai's, his combat strength was not as good as Lu Shankai's. Naturally, he was completely crushed by Lu Ming. Let's go, sky-breaking. Lu Ming cast the first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes, breaking through the air. A dazzling spear ray burst out and flashed past. Bang! The young man's head exploded, and his body and soul were destroyed. Run, run! Kang Ji, Sita Haonan, Kang Long, Sidu Shao and the rest were almost scared to death. Lu Ming was extremely audacious. He even dared to kill the inner disciples of the unique Devil Academy. If they stayed, they would definitely die. They did not dare to stay any longer and fled frantically. An old friend got into trouble. How could Lu Ming let Kang Ji and the rest escape? Kill! Lu Ming shouted coldly and used the 9 heavenly Kunpeng technique. His body flashed and he moved like a Kunpeng. At the same time, the long spear in his hand continued to stab. Bush, bush, bush. Rays of spear light pierced towards Kang Ji, Sito Haonan, Sanguine Red Guild leader and the rest. No, no, Kang Ji, Sito Haonan, and the rest were so scared that they almost peed their pants. They screamed madly and tried to block the attacks as they fled. However, with their cultivation, they were completely vulnerable in front of Lu Ming. As the spear radiance flew past, they were all pierced and died on the spot. Kang Ji, Sita Haonan, the master of the Y Red Society and the rest, a total of 7 to 8 stage 4 true G, O, D experts were killed by Lu Ming in one move. Kill. Attack together. The ancestor of technique roared, his voice reverberating through the entire area. Kill, kill, kill. Kill all these RTS. The people of the righteous army also charged out and attacked the people of the Serene Darkness Palace and the Walkabout sect. Although the powers like the Serene Palace and the Walkabout sect were much stronger than the righteous army, they had lost all their morale. All they knew was to flee, and they couldn't form any combat power at all. Instead, they were being slaughtered by the righteous army, resulting in countless deaths and injuries. Lu Ming did not stop and charged towards Kang Long, Sidu Shao, and Sidu Feng. Lu Ming, you'll die. Terrible death. Kang Long and the rest knew that they would not be able to survive today. They cursed madly, but before they could finish their words, Lu Ming had shot them dead. Following that, Lu Ming charged towards the true G, O, D powerhouses of the major forces. Wherever Lu Ming pass, said by real G, O, DS would be killed one by one. With a sweep of his spear, a large number of experts would be blasted apart. We surrender, we surrender. We are willing to surrender. The people from the major factions all shouted and raised their hands in surrender. We won't kill those who surrender, but they must swear on their life source that they will forever be loyal to the righteous army. Lu Ming shouted, I swear, I swear. Immediately, a large number of people swore their loyalty to the righteous army. The killing had stopped, and the higher-ups of the Yuluo Palace, Freedom Sect, and the other sects had either died or surrendered. All of them belonged to the righteous army. Many people looked at Lu Ming with complicated expressions. It had only been a short while since Lu Ming appeared. The situation that they were bound to lose had been reversed in an instant. Lu Ming, I can't believe that your cultivation has already reached such a level in just a few decades. The ancestor of technique flew over and smiled. I was just lucky. Lu Ming said humbly. Lu Ming had nothing else to do next. The ancestor of technique began to send people from the righteous army to take over the territories controlled by the Nether Hall, Carefree Sect, and other forces. The strength of the righteous army would definitely soar. At that moment, Lu Ming had already met with the ancestral dragon, the Tan Longhorn Beetle, and the others. The ancestral dragon, the Tan Longhorn Beetle, and the others naturally had extremely complicated feelings. They knew that Lu Ming, a rising star in the heaven realm, had already left them far behind. Senior, these things are for you. Lu Ming took out some storage rings and said them to Zhu Long and the rest. There were some cultivation resources inside that were suitable for virtual D-level cultivation. Senior, where are my parents? Lu Ming asked. They're behind us. Come with us. Zhu Long and the rest brought Lu Ming to the back mountain of the righteous army. They saw Lu Yuntian, Xiu Yu, Lu Shenhuang and the rest. In the primal universe, everyone's cultivation had made great progress. Lu Yuntian and Li Ping's cultivation base had actually reached the Great Emperor realm. As for Xiu Yu, her cultivation base had already reached the Demi-G D realm. The one who progressed the fastest was actually Lu Shenhuang. He had already reached the first level of ethereal D realm. It had only been a few decades. Lu Shenhuang had only stayed on the true heaven star to cultivate and did not have any fortuitous encounters. Yet, he had already become D, which was far beyond Lu Ming's expectations. Lu Shenhuang's talent was much stronger than he had imagined. Divine Wilderness, Xiu Yu, follow me. Lu Ming said. He brought Xiu Yu and Lu Shenhuang to the peak of a mountain. There was no one else there. Chiyu, Divine Wilderness, I will now teach you a mystical technique. However, this mystical technique is extremely important. You must not reveal it. Other than the two of you, you cannot teach it to anyone else. Especially you, Divine Wilderness. You cannot even teach Qi. Do you understand? Lu Ming warned seriously. He planned to pass the Heaven and Earth Thousand Dao arts to Qiu Yu and Lu Shenhuang. With their talents, they would definitely be able to achieve something. It was not impossible for them to cultivate to the level of a ruler. Especially for Lu Shenhuang, the chances were very high. However, the Qian Kun Thousand Dao arts was mysterious and unpredictable. If it were to spread, it would probably cause a huge wave. When that time came, they would all be in danger. Yes, father. Yes, young master. Lu Shenhuang and Qiu Yu nodded their heads. After that, Lu Ming said the Universe Thousand Dao mantra to Qiu Yu and Lu Shenhuang. The two of them looked at it carefully. After looking at it, their eyes revealed a deep shock. They were shocked by the profoundness of the Universe Thousand Dao arts. And NBSP cultivating the Universe Thousand Dao arts not only allowed one to cultivate ruler divine power, but one could also cultivate other divine power and control multiple divine powers at the same time. This was simply too shocking. They finally understood why Lu Ming had warned them not to spread it. They could not spread it to others. The more people who knew about it, the higher the possibility of it spreading. They knew the implications of this, and they decided in their hearts that they would never pass it on to a second person. Father, have a good chat with Aunt Chuyue. I'll go back to cultivate first, Lu Shenhuang said. He then gave Lu Ming look, chuckled, and soared into the sky. This kid, Lu Ming laughed and scolded. Young master, Chiu Yu pulled Lu Ming's hand and called out to him softly. Her eyes were filled with longing. Chuyue, this time, come with me to the Kong Xian sect to cultivate. Lu Ming said gently. Chiu Yu's eyes lit up and she nodded. Good, good. Come, let's take a walk. Lu Ming held Chiu Yu's hand and strolled in the void. Lu Ming and Chiu Yu only returned to their residence at midnight. Long Chen, desolate power. As soon as he returned, Lu Ming saw Long Chen, desolate force, and the others. After coming to the desolate universe, Long Chen and the others' cultivation had improved a lot. They had all reached the heavenly emperor realm. Dragon Star, desolate power. This is for you. Lu Ming took out a few storage rings and tossed them to Long Chen and the rest. Long Chen and the others received it, but there was no joy on their faces. They seemed to have something to say, but they hesitated. Long Chen, what's the matter? Lu Ming could tell that they were different. Lu Ming, Feng Ling, and Miss Mulan are in trouble. Long Chen sighed and said, What's going on? Lu Ming's expression changed. It's like this. Some time ago, Miss Mulan, Huang Ling, and the others went out on an adventure. They went to a forest on the true heavenly star, but they never returned. We went to look for them, but we couldn't find any trace of them. We wanted to report to the ancestor of technique, but we ran into the Serene Palace and the Carefree Sect's attack, so we delayed this matter, Long Chen explained. Chapter 2758 Ancient Path of Stars. How did this happen? Lu Ming's heart clenched and his expression turned ugly. He was very worried that Mulan, Huang Ling, and the rest would be in danger. Mulan, of course, he knew about Huang Ling's feelings for him. However, the two women were also stubborn people. They must have seen that Lu Ming's cultivation level was getting higher and higher. They did not want to be left behind too much. Hence, they went out to take risks and train. When did this happen? Chiu Yu also looked anxious. She had never heard of this before. About half a year ago. During this period of time, we have been fighting, so we didn't say anything. We were planning to report to the ancestor of technique after this and let him send experts to search. Long Chen said. Which forest did they go to? Lu Ming asked. It's the Perpetual Night Forest, Long Chen said. The Perpetual Night Forest. Lu Ming took out a jade talisman. This jade talisman was a map of true heaven star. Lu Ming had a map of the true heaven star long ago. He infused his divine power into the jade talisman and a map appeared in the air. It was the complete map of the true heaven star. The Perpetual Night Forest is here, Long Chen pointed at a place on the map. All right. Lu Ming nodded and leaped into the air. He cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Prng technique and rushed toward the forest of perpetual night at an astonishing speed. The Perpetual Night Forest was a famous place on the true sky star. There were many wild beasts in this place, but their levels weren't high. It was suitable for warriors under the ethereal D realm to train and gain experience. Huang Ling and Mulan had gone missing here for training. Lu Ming's speed was extremely fast. Divine energy condensed into a Kuan Peng on the surface of his body. With a flap of its wings, he could travel 90,000 miles. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived at the Perpetual Night Forest. Without any hesitation, Lu Ming dashed into the Perpetual Night Forest. He spread his spiritual sense and scanned the surroundings. The Perpetual Night Forest was huge, but with Lu Ming's speed, he flew back and forth in no time. The wild beasts in the forest felt Lu Ming's aura and all hid in fear, not daring to show themselves. Very soon, Lu Ming had searched the entire Perpetual Night Forest and even the surrounding area, but he could not find any traces of Mulan and Huang Ling. How could this be? Could it be that they have already died in the mouths of the wild beasts? At the thought of this, Lu Ming's heart trembled. He could not accept this outcome. It won't. Search again. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and continued to search more carefully. That's A few hours later, Lu Ming's expression suddenly changed. He had a discovery. In a flash, Lu Ming dashed down the perpetual night forest and landed beside an ancient altar. This altar was indeed very ancient. It was hard to tell what era it was from. It was cast in gray mud and there were ancient runes on it. Most importantly, Lu Ming could sense Mulan's and Huang Ling's auras on the altar. What kind of altar is this? Lu Ming sized it up carefully. Stop looking. This is a teleportation platform. In his sea of consciousness, the voice of the Quant. 1. Thai formula sounded. A teleportation formation? How come it's like this? Lu Ming was surprised. It was not like he had not seen a teleportation platform before. The current teleportation platform was not like this. Moreover, it was cast with gray mud and it looked too simple. It's normal that you don't recognize it. This is a very ancient teleportation platform. It could even be said to be one of the earliest teleportation platforms. These teleportation platforms are very rare nowadays. Furthermore, this teleportation platform is already damaged. The Quant. 1. Thai formula said. It's damaged? That's right. If I'm not wrong, your two friends must have been teleported away from this teleportation platform. The Quant. 1. Thai formula said. Lu Ming felt slightly more at ease when he heard this. Mulan and Feng Ling had only been teleported away, which meant that they were still alive. Do you know where this transportation formation leads to? Also, can this platform be repaired? Lu Ming asked again. It can't be repaired. In the world today, there are only a few people who can repair this kind of ancient platform. Furthermore, it's very difficult to know where they were transported to. There's a high possibility that they've stepped on an ancient path of stars. The Quant. 1. Thai formula said. The ancient path of stars? Lu Ming was puzzled. The ancient path of stars was created by the ancestors of the primal universe. I wonder where it leads to? Whoever steps on it may encounter great danger, but it's also possible for them to obtain great fortune. Everything depends on their own fortune. The Quant. 1. Thai formula said. I see. Lu Ming heaved a long sigh. He was helpless. Everything would depend on Mulan, Huang Ling, and the others' own luck. There was nothing he could do to help. Lu Ming returned to the righteous army headquarters with a heavy heart. He told Xiao Yu, Long Chen, and the rest about what had happened. Long Chen and the rest sighed. They did not expect to encounter such a situation. Following that, Lu Ming sat in the Righteous Sky Army headquarters and guided Lu Shenhuang, Xiao Yu, and his disciples in their cultivation. His few disciples, Lu Xiangxiang and Ouyang Moli, had also made rapid progress in their cultivation and displayed great talent. In fact, those who could rise up in small kiliacosm were all talented. Once they came to the primal universe, they would explode. Lu Ming planned to bring Lu Xiangxiang, Ouyang Moli, and the rest to the Kongxian sect to cultivate after he had established himself there. With good resources, their cultivation would progress faster. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. In the past month, the righteous army had already gained complete control of the territories of the Serene Palace, the Walkabout sect, and the Blood-Red Elfas Association. They had become a powerful force in the surrounding areas. However, in the chaotic astral river, there were nearly 1,000 major and minor powers. It was common for a power to be destroyed and a new power to be established. The destruction of a few powers, such as the Serene Palace, did not cause too much of a stir. A month later, the ancestor of technique returned to the true Heaven Star to meet Lu Ming. Lu Ming, you're in Kongxian sect. I wonder if you've seen Yuexin? The ancestor of technique asked Lu Ming, his eyes shining with hope. As expected, I asked. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. He pondered for a moment and said, Senior, I did see Senior Yuexin, but... Lu Ming paused for a moment. But what? The ancestor of technique's heart sank as he asked. Senior Yuexin already has a family. Lu Ming told the ancestor of technique everything he knew. After the ancestor of technique heard this, he fell silent. After a while, he sighed and said, Actually, I should have expected this. With my talent, how could I be a good match for Yuexin? She's married. This is good, this is good. The ancestor of technique muttered to himself. His eyes were filled with desolation, as if he had aged a lot in an instant. Senior, are you all right? Lu Ming asked with concern. He could understand the ancestor of technique's feelings. The woman he loved had married someone else. He would definitely not feel good. I'm fine. The ancestor of technique smiled. That's good. I can manage the righteous army well in the future. Let's go, Lu Ming. Let's go to the underworld star first. All right, let's go. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Can't enter the heavenly realm, the heaven realm, the primordial realm, and the evil G.O.D. realm were also attached to the dark underworld star, the first life planet that Lu Ming came to in the primeval universe. Lu Ming had long wanted to come and take a look. Previously, the underworld star had always been under the control of the underworld hall, but now, it had become the territory of the righteous army. The underworld star was not too far away from the true sky star, so they soon arrived on the underworld star. They landed on a mountain peak. There were already a few people waiting on this peak. Ancestor of technique. When these people saw the ancestor of technique, they immediately saluted him. Come, let me introduce you. This is Lu Ming, the one who killed Kong Ji, Sita Haonen, and the others. The ancestor of technique pointed at Lu Ming and introduced. These people looked at Lu Ming one after another, their eyes filled with curiosity and shock. Song Imo? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He saw Song Imo in the crowd. When he first came to the underworld star, he was hunted down by the people from the underworld hall. Fortunately, Song Imo saved him and he managed to escape. Later on, Song Imo even guided him to find the people from the righteous army. Lu Ming then left the underworld hall and went to the righteous army. Ah, Lu Ming, it's only been a few years. I didn't expect you to have already reached such a realm. Killing Kong Ji with a flip of your hand, this is really satisfying, really satisfying. Song Imo laughed. Big brother Song Imo, have you removed the restriction on your body? Lu Ming asked with a smile. It's lifted. Once Kong Ji died, the restriction was naturally lifted. Song Imo laughed, her expression relaxed. Lu Ming, let me introduce them to you. They came from the heaven realm. They used to be controlled by the underworld hall, but they're free now. Song Imo pointed to the people behind her and introduced. In the past, when one cultivated to the level of a demi-G.O.D. in the heaven realm's primordial realm, they would leave the heaven realm's primordial realm and come to the primal universe. However, without exception, they would all be controlled by the underworld hall and have restrictions placed in their souls. Now that Kong Ji had died, the restrictions were naturally broken. Greetings, seniors. Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, You are too polite. The future generations are truly fearsome. Our heaven realm is really lucky to have such a heaven's favorite. The others cupped their fists and said, Our heaven realm is really lucky to have such a heaven's favorite. The others cupped their fists and said, Let's go and take a look at the heaven realm, the ancestor of technique said. Everyone's eyes revealed a glimmer of hope. They all came from the heaven realm and the primordial realm, but they had left for countless years and had never returned to take a look. They were naturally looking forward to it. Everyone flew towards the entrance of the heaven realm and soon arrived. Looking at the familiar place, Lu Ming felt rather emotional. However, it was a pity that Lu Ming could not enter heaven now. Lu Ming was too powerful now. His aura was powerful and his divine power was terrifying. On the other hand, the heaven realm was just a small kiliacosm. If Lu Ming were to enter, he might be able to tear the kiliacosm apart or even shatter it if he released a wisp of chi activity or leaked a trace of divine power. Only those below the third level of the void G.O.D. realm could enter the small kiliacosm. Or, if one's cultivation had reached an extremely profound realm where he could perfectly control every bit of chi movement and divine power in his body, he could also enter a small kiliacosm. Lu Ming could not do it now. I can't go in. If you guys want to go in and take a look, then go in and take a look. The ancestor of technique said. I'll go in and take a look. I'll go too. Suddenly, One figure after another flew toward the entrance of the heaven realm and disappeared. Not long after, those people came out again. It's all right. Everything is normal inside. It's just that there's a lack of people. Someone said. Lu Ming and the ancestor of technique nodded. Back then, most of the living creatures in the heaven realm and the primordial realm had been brought out. Naturally, there was a lack of people. They were prepared to return to the righteous heaven army and let those who wanted to return to the heaven realm and the primordial realm to live. Although the cultivation conditions in the primeval universe were countless times better than those in the heaven realm and the primordial realm, there were also some family-loving people who wanted to go back. After staying for a while longer, they left and returned to the righteous army. After that, Lu Ming stayed on the true sky planet for a few months to guide Lu Xiangxiang, Ouyang Moli, and the rest in their cultivation. With the resources that Lu Ming provided, everyone's cultivation base improved greatly. A few months later, Lu Ming left the true heaven star with Qiu Yu and headed for the Kong Xian sect. More than a month later, he returned to the Kong Xian sect. If it were any other Kong Xian sect disciple, they would not be allowed to bring any other disciple in. However, Lu Ming had the golden token given to him by the Dragon Boat Mountain, so there was no problem. After returning to Kong Xian sect, Lu Ming returned to the outer sect area where he used to live. Lu Ming is back. Lu Ming had just returned and the news of his return had spread to the outer sect. Now, Lu Ming was simply a legend in the outer sect. Back in the Dark Dragon's secret realm, 9 of the top 10 virtual Ds on the virtual D list had joined forces and had broken through to true D level, but they were still no match for Lu Ming. Lu Ming's battle results were simply a legend. In less than a day, Huoquan came to look for Lu Ming. Elder Huoquan, congratulations on becoming an inner court elder. Lu Ming cupped his fists and congratulated Huoquan the moment he saw him. This was because Huoquan's attire was different. Moreover, from the ident Tai token hanging on his waist, one could tell that this was not the ident Tai token of an outer sect elder, but an inner sect elder. Ha Lu Ming, you too. I'm here to congratulate you. You've been promoted to an inner disciple. You can move into the inner sect now. Huoquan laughed. Did I advance? Lu Ming muttered. This was within his expectations. Now that he had already broken through to the true D realm, he naturally couldn't stay in the outer sect anymore. It was also normal for him to be promoted to an inner sect disciple. This was also good. In the future, he would not need to rely on the gold token to enter and exit the inner sect. Lu Ming, come with me. After you've gone through the procedures, you can live in the inner sect. Huoquan said. Elder Huoquan, I have a friend who wants to cultivate with me. Lu Ming pointed at Qiu Yu. Huoquan looked at Qiu Yu and smiled. That's easy. It'll help her with the procedures too. She'll be a disciple of the Kong Xian sect in the future. After that, the two of them followed Huoquan to go through the formalities and exchange tokens. Lu Ming became an inner sect disciple and was given a large courtyard in the inner sect area. The cultivation environment here was naturally better than the outer gate area. Qiu Yue, you're already a demi-G. Next, you'll break through to the void D realm. It'll take you to the divine pulse tower to cultivate. I think you'll be able to break through to the void D realm very quickly there. Lu Ming said to Qiu Yu. Yes, young master. Qiu Yu nodded obediently. Lu Ming then brought Qiu Yu to the divine pulse tower to cultivate. The news of Lu Ming becoming an inner sect disciple slowly spread in the inner sect area and caused a stir. Lu Ming was only a disciple who had just entered the sect. It had only been a few years, and he had actually been promoted to an inner disciple. Such a cultivation speed was truly shocking. It was hard not to attract attention. All the major sects in the inner sect area were discussing and paying attention to Lu Ming. The killing intent of the Tianhong Saint's son. A group of people was gathered in a luxurious courtyard in the inner court. Among this group of people, Huang Wen was among them. That Lu Ming, what a terrifying speed of advancement. It's only been a few decades and he's already an inner disciple. A young man said in shock. This man is a monster. When he grows up in the future, I'm afraid he will pose a threat to the saint's position. We must get rid of him, Huang Wen said through gritted teeth. Huang Wen, I heard that you and your brother have a grudge against Lu Ming. Because of this, Lu Ming even killed many people from the transient light sect when he was in the outer sect? Isn't that right? Some people looked at Huang Wen. These people were all from the Sacred Sun of Reflections faction. They were all experts from the inner sect. Not bad. Huang Wen nodded. Since there's a grudge between us, we must get rid of him as soon as possible. Send someone to keep a close eye on Lu Ming's movements. Once he leaves the Kong Xian sect, send someone to get rid of him. A young man looked at Huang Wen and said, All right. Huang Wen nodded as a cold, killing intent flashed in his eyes. However, deep in his eyes, there was a trace of fear. Lu Ming's growth rate was too shocking. It made him feel fear. In another luxurious courtyard in the inner court, a group of people gathered together as if they were waiting for someone. Within this group of people, there was actually an outer sect deacon, Lu Zhong. These people were all from the Tianhong Saint Sun's faction. The saint is here. Someone suddenly called out. As soon as he finished speaking, a few figures descended from the sky. The one in the lead was a handsome young man in luxurious clothes. He exuded Bli temperament. This person was the leader of the Tianhong sect, the Tianhong Saint Sun. He was one of the 5 saints of the Kong Xian sect. Kong Xian sect had a total of 5 saints and 2 saintesses. He was one of the strongest disciples and had a chance of becoming the sect leader. In the Kong Xian sect, one could not become a holy son or holy daughter just because they had mastered the divine power. Mastering divine-grade divine power was only the most basic condition. It also depended on one's cultivation and combat power. Only when one met these requirements could they become a holy son or holy daughter. To become a saint or saintess, one had to be at least a heavenly Ji. We pay our respects to the saint. Lu Zhong and the others immediately bowed respectfully. Rise. I've just come out of seclusion. Why are you looking for me? The Tianhong Saint Sun said. Saint, it's because of an outer sect disciple. No, he's already an inner sect disciple now. A young man answered. Someone who just became an inner sect disciple. The Tianhong Saint Sun was confused. Was there a need to report to him about someone who had just become an inner disciple? Saint, this person is a monster with shocking talent. He has only been in the sect for few decades and has already become an inner sect disciple. His combat strength is also amazing. He walked out happily and told her about Lu Ming's performance during this period. The Tianhong Saint Sun frowned. This person is extremely arrogant. Our Tianhong sect had invited him to join us from the very beginning, but he didn't care at all. I guess he's also very ambitious. He wants to form his own sect in the future and compete for the position of sect leader. Many people from our Tianhong sect have died in his hands, including Ying Tsang. Lu Zhong continued. Ying Tsang is dead. The Tianhong Saint Sun's eyes flashed, and he exuded cold killing intent. Ying Tsang was ranked 4th on the virtual D ranking list. He was very talented and could become his powerful subordinate when he grew up. However, he had died in Lu Ming's hands. You still want to form your own faction? The Kong Xian sect has 7 major factions, which is more than enough. Also, since we've already made enemies, we have to get rid of them as soon as possible. The Tianhong Saint Sun's indifferent voice was heard. Don't worry, Saint. I'll send someone to keep an eye on this kid. Once I have the chance, I'll personally take action and get rid of this person. Lu Zhong said coldly. All right, I'm relieved to have you take action. The Tianhong Saint Sun said. Then, everyone started to discuss other matters. Lu Ming knew nothing about this. He and Qiu Yu had been cultivating in seclusion in the Divine Pulse Tower. The Divine Pulse Tower was too useful for Qiu Yu. In less than half a year, Qiu Yu's aura had reached the peak and she was trying to break through to the Void D realm. A few days later, Qiu Yu successfully broke through to the first level of the Void D realm. After Qiu Yu's breakthrough, Lu Ming was relieved. He left Qiu Yu alone in the Divine Pulse Tower to cultivate while he left for the Divine Technique Valley to cultivate the divine skills. Spring went and autumn came. In the blink of an eye, 20 years had passed. In the past 20 years, Lu Ming had been focused on cultivation. His 3 divine skills had all made great progress. He had reached the 4th level of the 9 Heavenly Kunpeng technique, the 4th level of the 3 Apocalyptic Strikes, the 4th layer of the 9-layer Crimson Gold armor. All of them had reached the 4th level, which was very shocking. The higher the level of a divine skill, the more difficult it was to cultivate. Of course, the power would also be stronger. Many experts at the peak of true Jianghu had only cultivated their divine skills to the 4th stage. Only some terrifying prodigies could possibly cultivate to the 5th stage at the peak of true Jianghu. Lu Ming had just broken through to true Jianghu, and he had already reached the 4th stage. Moreover, he had 3 types. If this was known by others, their eyes would pop out of their sockets. At the same time, Lu Ming had also fused 8 cold moonstones into the secret skill, Ice Shackles. The Ice Shackles was officially completed and its power was shocking. In 20 years, Lu Ming's cultivation level did not increase. He was still at the 1st stage of true Jianghu, but it had been completely stabilized and he was slowly approaching the 2nd stage of true Jianghu. It was more difficult and took a longer time to level up to true Jianghu level. Moreover, Lu Ming had cultivated 5 divine flames. It would be more difficult to level up. It was normal to not have a breakthrough in 20 years. However, compared to 20 years ago, Lu Ming's combat strength had increased by more than 1 level. It's a pity that the battle character formula has reached a bottleneck. It's hard to break through. Lu Ming frowned. He had almost reached a 100% success rate of the battle formula's triple combat power, but he still couldn't reach quadruple combat power. He had encountered a bottleneck and tried all sorts of methods, but it was difficult to improve. Lu Ming, it's hard for you to level up because your divine body isn't strong enough. At this moment, a deep voice rang out in Lu Ming's sea of consciousness. It was the sound of the battle formula. The battle symbol art had always been very quiet and rarely spoke, but now it spoke. His divine body isn't strong enough? Lu Ming was stunned for a moment before he came to a realization. The battle character formula triggered a higher number of combat power, and the requirement for the divine body was indeed very high. If his divine body wasn't strong enough, he wouldn't be able to use the battle formula. That's right. It's just that your divine body isn't strong enough. If you want to cultivate the battle character formula to quadruple your combat power, you have to increase the strength of your divine body. Otherwise, you won't be able to cultivate to quadruple your combat power in your entire life. In fact, when your cultivation gets stronger in the future, you won't even be able to triple or double your combat power. The battle character said, "Divine body. How should I improve my divine body?" Lu Ming frowned. When he came to the primeval universe, he found that the creatures in the primeval universe paid attention to the cultivation of divine power. As their divine power became stronger, it would also subtly temper their divine bodies. Hence, the higher one's cultivation was, the stronger one's divine body would be. However, there were no divine techniques that could improve the divine body. Chapter 2761 Ancient Jianghu. It seems like I have to read through the ancient books and see if there are any methods to increase the strength of my divine body. Lu Ming pondered. At this moment, a strong aura was emitted not far away. Lu Ming looked over. Over there was a round ball floating in the air, shining brightly. It was Qiu. It seems like Qiu is going to advance to the true Jianghu stage. Lu Ming revealed a smile. Over the years, Qiu had swallowed a large number of divine weapon fragments, and its level had also been constantly rising. It was about to rise to true Jianghu level. Not long after, Qiu officially broke through. Its aura was powerful, and it reached 1st stage true Jianghu. It then flew toward Lu Ming, turned into a bracelet, and wore it on his wrist. Lu Ming smiled and left the place. He went to look for ancient books and records to see if there were any ways to improve the divine body. For the next few days, Lu Ming buried himself in reading various books and finally found a method. Ancient Ji, D flower. Lu Ming muttered. And NBSP, according to the ancient records, there was a divine flower called the ancient Ji, D flower. It was extremely mysterious, and after consuming it, one's divine body would evolve and become stronger. However, the ancient Ji, D flower only existed in one place in the entire Qin heaven star system, and that was the ancient Ji, D star. According to the ancient records, the ancient Ji, D star was occupied by a race in the distant past. This race was known as the descendants of the ancient Ji, DS. They had the bloodline of the ancient Ji, DS, and their divine bodies were stronger than those of the other races. Only this race knew how to plant the ancient Ji, D flower. This race was not considered a big race in the Qin heaven star system. It was just a small race. However, it had disappeared in the distant past. Of course, the ancient Ji, D flower had also gone extinct. After flipping through so many ancient books, this is the most reliable method. Let's try our luck. Lu Ming sighed and decided to try his luck on the ancient Ji, D star. He definitely couldn't give up on the battle symbol art. This was an ancient origin word, and its value was immeasurable. If he gave up on the battle symbol art, it would have a huge impact on his combat strength. After that, Lu Ming set off to the teleportation platform and headed to the ancient Ji, D star. Lu Ming is going out. As soon as Lu Ming went to the teleportation platform, he was targeted. The two young men followed from a distance and also arrived at the transportation platform. It seems like I'm not the only one who wants to kill this kid. Behind these two young men, there was another person, Le Zhong. Lu Ming had no idea about this. He walked into the teleportation array and teleported away. May I ask where that person was teleported to? The two young men came to the teleportation formation and asked a burly man who was guarding it. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you where he's going. The burly man said. There were rules for them to guard the teleportation formation, which was to keep it a secret. I'm telling you, we were sent by the sacred Sun of Reflection. Now, the sacred Sun of Reflection wants to know where that kid is. Are you going to offend the sacred Sun of Reflection? A young man said coldly. The burly man's face turned pale. He couldn't afford to offend someone at the saint level. Once he did, he wouldn't even know how he died. He's going to, the burly man told them about Lu Ming's whereabouts in a trembling voice. The two young men sneered. They stepped into the teleportation formation and chased after Lu Ming. After the two young men left, Le Zhong came forward and revealed his ident. 1. Tai as the Tianhong Saint's son. The burly man naturally did not dare to offend him and informed him of Lu Ming's whereabouts. Le Zhong also stepped into the teleportation formation and chased after him. The Kongxian sect couldn't reach the ancient Ji, D planet directly, so they could only teleport to a nearby planet and fly there on an interstellar warship. After more than a month of traveling, Lu Ming finally arrived in the sky above the ancient Ji, D star. The ancient Ji, D star was huge and it rotated slowly in the starry sky. Lu Ming sat on the starry sky warship and flew around the ancient Ji, D star, observing it carefully. Legend had it that the descendants of the ancient Ji, DS lived on a divine mountain called the ancient Ji, DS mountain. However, for some unknown reason, the ancient Ji, DS mountain suddenly disappeared from the ancient Ji, DS star and never appeared again. Lu Ming wanted to find the ancient Ji, DS mountain because the ancient Ji, D flower could only be found there. However, he didn't find the ancient Ji, DS mountain even after circling the ancient Ji, D star several times in the interplanetary warship. Lu Ming had no choice but to choose a random place and land. After entering the atmosphere, Lu Ming kept the starry sky warship and flew towards a big city below. Not long after Lu Ming landed, two interstellar battleships flew over and landed. They were the two young experts from the Floating Light faction and Lejeune. Lu Ming landed in the big city. The big city was very prosperous. There were many races and people came and went. It was very lively. In the distant past, the ancient G.O.D. star had been under the control of the descendants of the ancient G.O.D.S. However, since the disappearance of the descendants of the ancient G.O.D.S., the ancient G.O.D. star had fallen into chaos. Countless forces were born, and they fought with each other until now. Have you heard? Another family has been annihilated. I've heard about it too. It's really tragic. The entire family was killed, not even a chicken or dog was left. This is the fifth family in this area to be destroyed in the past 3 months. I wonder who did it? Why did you exterminate these families? These families are just small families. Those who can do this must be the major forces. Not long after Lu Ming entered the city, he heard a series of discussions. Let me tell you, I heard a piece of news. It is said that all of this is because of the ancient G.O.D. map. Suddenly, someone said in a low voice, "Ancient G.O.D. map?" The others were puzzled. It's the ancient G.O.D. map. With this map, you can find the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain where the descendants of the ancient G.O.D.S. are. That person said, "What? Can you find the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain where the descendants of the ancient G.O.D.S. live?" Many people were shocked. Legend has it that the descendants of the ancient G.O.D.S. were exterminated for some reason. However, there are a lot of treasures left by the descendants of the ancient G.O.D.S. in the ancient G.O.D. mountain. It is said that whoever can find the ancient G.O.D. mountain and obtain the treasures inside can unify the ancient G.O.D. star and become the overlord of the ancient G.O.D. star. That's right, the ancient G.O.D. map. Could it be real? Many people exclaimed in shock and excitement. It's most likely true. It's said that it appeared in the nearby area and was controlled by a family. That's why the families were destroyed one after another. The person from before said. These words set off a huge uproar and spread wider and wider. Can you find the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain on the ancient G.O.D.S. map? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. It was better to come at the right time than to come early. Lu Ming did not expect to hear about the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain as soon as he arrived. Since families have been destroyed one after another, I guess there will be another one. I'll go to these families and wait. Maybe I can find some clues. Lu Ming pondered and then asked around. In this area, there were a total of 9 great clans. 5 of them had already been destroyed, and there were still 4 left. Let's go to this Fu clan. Lu Ming randomly chose a family. After figuring out the route, he headed in that direction. However, after Lu Ming had flown for a distance, 2 young men appeared in front of him and blocked his way. Killing 2 geniuses, who are you? Lu Ming frowned. He could sense a cold killing intent from the 2 young men. The person who will kill you. A young man with 2 bull horns on his head said coldly. Buzz. Then, in a flash, he appeared behind Lu Ming, blocking his way of retreat. You're the disciples of the Kongxian sect? Lu Ming's eyes turned cold as he asked. At least you're smart. I'll let you die in peace. That's right, we're inner disciples of the Kongxian sect and belong to the Sacred Son of Reflections faction. Do you understand? The bull-horned young man said coldly. Sacred Son of Reflections faction, it's really you guys. Lu Ming sneered, his body exuding a cold, murderous intent. There were only 2 sects in the Kongxian sect that wanted to kill him. One was the Fuguang sect and the other was the Tianhong sect. Brat, you even have killing intent towards us. With your cultivation of only stage 1 true G.O.D., you want to kill us? This is simply laughable. The bull-horned young man sneered and stepped forward, his violent aura soaring into the sky. 7th stage true G.O.D. The bull-horned young man was at the 7th stage of true G.O.D. realm and the divine power he controlled was king-grade divine power. His fighting power was enough to fight against an ordinary 8th stage true Ji. At the same time, the other youth also burst out with a terrifying aura. He was also at the 7th stage of true Ji, D realm. 2 heaven's favorites at the 7th stage of the true Ji, D realm came to kill a person at the 1st stage of the true Ji, D realm. No matter how heaven's favorites this person was, it was a sure thing. Because the difference was too great. It was no wonder that they found it ridiculous that Lu Ming had the intention to kill them. Kid, they'll send you on your way. Remember, the one who killed you is Niu Fun. The bull-horned young man took 1,000 steps and threw a punch at Lu Ming. What? Cow dung? Lu Ming almost laughed out loud when he heard the name. That was a really good name. However, before Lu Ming could think further, the other party's fist force was already pressing down on him. Buzz. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hands and he thrust it forward. In the process of stabbing, Lu Ming had already exploded with 3 times his combat strength. Boom. The spear and the fist force collided, creating a violent boom and overflowing energy. The bull-horned young man retreated a dozen steps, while Lu Ming's body only swayed a little. How is that possible? Your battle strength. The bull-horned young man's eyes widened in shock. How is it possible that Lu Ming had the upper hand in a head-on collision? How could a 1st stage true Ji, D possibly have such powerful combat power? The other young man, who had a relaxed expression, was no longer relaxed. His face was filled with solemnness. Clearly, Lu Ming's attack had frightened them. Kill! The bull-horned young man bellowed. A battle axe appeared in his hand and he slashed it at Lu Ming with terrifying power. The bull-horned young man had already used his divine skill. Break the sky! Lu Ming also used his delay skill. Clang! This time, the bull-horned young man's body shook violently and he was forced to retreat again. Even after using the divine skill, he was still at a disadvantage. Then quick, attack together! Attack together! The bull-horned young man roared. The other young man had already made his move. His figure flashed and he pounced at Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. A brilliant sword light burst out and headed for Lu Ming. 3 apocalyptic strikes, break the sky. Lu Ming swung his spear again. This time, 2 spear lights burst out and attacked the other party. Clang, clang. The 2 sides continued to exchange blows. The 3 figures flickered in the air at an astonishing speed. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged dozens of moves. To be honest, the bull-horned young man and the other man were both very strong. They were at stage 7 of true Ji, D realm and had king-grade divine power. Even one of their divine skills had been cultivated to stage 4. With the 2 of them working together, it would not be easy even for Lu Ming to take them down. After exchanging dozens of moves, although Lu Ming had the upper hand, he could not completely crush them. This man is too powerful. Let's retreat and report this to the saints so that he can send more powerful people to kill this kid. Not bad. The bull-horned young man and the other young man conversed in secret. Their eyes were filled with deep fear. A 1st stage true Ji, D was actually able to suppress the 2 of them when they joined forces. Such a monster was simply unheard of. Even those holy sons were far inferior to Lu Ming in a battle of the same level. Although those saints were powerful, there was a limit. However, Lu Ming was simply a freak. Let's go! The 2 of them quickly retreated, trying to escape. You want to leave? Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. Ice chains. Then, with a thought, 8 chains flew out of Lu Ming's body. That's right, there were 8 chains. Lu Ming did not use his full strength. He did not use the most terrifying chain. However, these 8 ice chains had all been refined into cold moon stones, so their power was equally shocking. As soon as the ice chains appeared, they were like 8 long snakes, dancing in the sky and winding toward the bull-horned young man and the other man. Break! The bull-horned young man and the other man attacked crazily, trying to break the ice chains. However, when their attacks landed on the ice chains, they were completely unharmed. On the contrary, A terrifying chill spread out from the ice chains and entered the bodies of the bull-horned young man and the other man through the divine artifact. The two of them shivered and a layer of frost appeared on the surface of their bodies, trying to seal them in ice. Ah! The bull-horned young man and the other young man shouted with all their might, but it was to no avail. They couldn't break the ice chains at all. The ice chains contracted and became tighter and tighter. In the end, they wrapped around the bull-horned young man and the other man tightly, making them unable to move. Kill! Lu Ming said coldly. He thrust his spear forward and killed the bull-horned young man and his companion. He waved his hand and kept their storage rings. The sacred sun of reflection. The cold glint in Lu Ming's eyes intensified. These two factions had tried to kill him time and time again. In his heart, he had already been sentenced to death. He would destroy these two factions sooner or later. If I go all out now, it would be equivalent to a heaven's favorite at the 8th stage of true G. Oh, D realm. After this battle, Lu Ming had a rough estimate of his abilities. If he used all his means now, he was probably comparable to an 8th stage true G. Oh, D who controlled king-grade divine power. If he only controlled ordinary divine power, Lu Ming could even fight against a 9th stage true G. Oh, D. Fighting a stage 9 true G. Oh, D as a stage 1 true G. Oh, D, if it was spread out, it would probably scare people to death. In a flash, Lu Ming left the place. Shortly after Lu Ming left, Lu Zhong's figure appeared there. At this moment, Lu Zhong's eyes were filled with shock. In fact, he had seen the entire battle just now. Lu Ming's combat strength had deeply shocked him. Too terrifying. This kid's combat strength is too terrifying. He mumbled to himself. As he recalled the battle just now, the fear in his eyes grew stronger. A stage 1 true G. Oh, D could actually kill 2 stage 7 true G. Oh, D geniuses. If he didn't see it with his own eyes, he wouldn't believe it even if he was beaten to death. Misunderstanding. I don't know if this kid used his full strength just now. It's not good for me to fight him head-on. Lu muttered. He was really frightened. His cultivation was already at the peak of the 9th stage of the true G. Oh, D realm, and the divine power he controlled was also king-grade divine power. His fighting power was much stronger than the bull-horned young man and the other man. However, just now, he didn't dare to make a move. He could not gauge Lu Ming's actual combat strength and was afraid that Lu Ming had not used his full strength just now. If Lu Ming had not used his full strength just now, he would not be confident if he went out rashly. I'd better hide in the dark and wait for an opportunity to strike. It seems that Lu Ming came to the ancient G. Oh, DS star to look for the ancient G. Oh, DS mountain. If the ancient G. Oh, DS mountain appears, he'll be able to obtain some opportunities. He pondered and made a decision. He decided to hide in the dark and wait for an opportunity to kill in one strike. Lu Ming continued on his way to the Fu residence. The Fu clan was located in the middle of a mountain range. Even from a distance, one could see the luxurious palaces built on the divine peaks. Lu Ming was about to fly forward when suddenly, figures flickered from all directions. At the same time, sharp attacks were launched at Lu Ming. Lu Ming frowned and cast the 9-layer crimson gold armor. A crimson gold armor enveloped him. Bang, bang. All the attacks landed on the golden armor and were blocked. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. In a flash, the group of people surrounded Lu Ming. They had ferocious expressions on their faces as they stared at Lu Ming cautiously and fearfully. Who are you? Why do you want to exterminate my Fu clan? A burly man roared. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. He was roaring in his heart. When did I want to destroy you? Seeing that Lu Ming did not say anything, another old man shouted, "Don't waste your breath on him. If he wants to kill us, then well, kill him. Let's kill him together." Kill! The group of people roared. There were at least a few hundred of them, and they launched an attack on Lu Ming. Among this group of people, the one with the highest cultivation was at the 4th stage of true G. Oh, D realm. There were even many of them who were at the virtual G. Oh, D realm. Although there were many of them, they were not a threat to Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming did not have the habit of standing still and not retaliating. A long spear appeared in his hand. He swept the long spear horizontally, and a huge spear light crushed toward the crowd. Bang, bang, bang. This group of people, regardless of whether they were 4th stage true G, D level or virtual G, D level, were like sandbags. They were sent flying by Lu Ming and fell all over the ground. How can he be so strong? Someone shouted. They were filled with despair and stared at Lu Ming with hatred. Hey, I have no enmity with you. It's fine if you attack me for no reason, but you're also looking at me as if you have a deep hatred for me. What do you mean? Lu Ming was somewhat speechless. No grudges? Are you not here to exterminate my Fu clan? An old man called out. Exterminate your Fu clan? If I wanted to exterminate the Fu family, would you still be alive? Lu Ming touched his nose and said. Everyone on the other side was stunned, and then they looked at each other. That was indeed the case. With Lu Ming's abilities, it would be as easy as turning his hand if he wanted to kill them. Just now, he had sent all of them flying with one shot, but he did not kill a single one. If he wanted to kill them, why would he do that? And you are? The old man looked at Lu Ming uneasily and stuttered. They were afraid that Lu Ming would kill them if they angered him. I heard that 5 families have been exterminated in the vicinity. I was curious and wanted to come to your Fu clan to take a look. I didn't expect to be regarded as an enemy by you. Lu Ming smiled and did not find it strange. The other party was facing the danger of being annihilated at any moment, so it was normal to be a little frightened. Young hero, I'm sorry. We were too impetuous just now. That's stage 4 true G. D old man apologized repeatedly. It's fine. Lu Ming waved his hands. His expression suddenly changed as he looked in a direction. It seems like the person who wants to exterminate you all has really come. What? The Fu clan elder's expression changed drastically as he quickly looked in that direction. Bush. In that direction, there were many black shadows flashing towards them at an astonishing speed. Within a few breaths, the black shadows had arrived and surrounded the Fu clan and Lu Ming. There were more than 200 of them. These people were all wrapped in black robes, giving off a mysterious and dangerous feeling. Who are you people? What are you guys trying to do? The Fu clan elder asked in shock. Hand over the map of ancient this mountain and I will spare your lives. One of the black-robed men said in a Hoa. voice. What map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain? Our Fu clan doesn't have a map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain. The Fu clan elder roared. No? You won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Then let's exterminate the Fu clan and we'll find them ourselves. Kill. The leader of the black-robed men waved his hand, and more than 200 black-robed men moved. Their figures flickered, and they charged toward the Fu clan's people with extreme speed. They're all experts. Lu Ming took a glance and realized that these black-robed men were all experts. Most of them were true G.O.D. realm experts. The strongest few had reached the 5th stage of true G.O.D. realm, and their abilities were far above the Fu family. Defend! The Fu clan elder roared and gathered the Fu clan members into a defensive formation. Although the Fu clan had more people, their strength was far inferior to the other party. Lu Ming did not take action immediately. He planned to make the Fu family suffer a little before he took action. However, even though he didn't want to do it, someone forced him to. Kill! A 3rd stage true G.O.D. realm black-robed man charged at Lu Ming. The cold blade light was aimed at Lu Ming's head, wanting to split him in half. I originally wanted to let you live a little longer, but you're really looking for death. Lu Ming said coldly. He thrust his spear forward and killed the man. When the other black-robed men saw this scene, their expressions changed drastically. Kill! Lu Ming made his move. His figure flashed and his long spear trembled. Rays of spear radiance burst out. Among these people, the highest was only at the 5th stage true G.O.D. realm. Moreover, the divine power they controlled was almost all ordinary divine power. In Lu Ming's hands, they could not even withstand a single blow. Each spear light would take a person's life. Over 100 spear lights burst out and over 100 men in black were all killed. Their corpses lay all over the ground. The scene suddenly fell silent. Both the men in black and the Fu clan were extremely shocked. "Let's go!" After a few seconds, the man in black finally reacted and started to escape in all directions. They understood that they had encountered a terrifying expert. If they stayed, they would all die. "If you want to leave, then stay, go," Lu Ming growled. 8 ice chains flew out and grew rapidly. The sky was filled with the shadows of the chains, binding the hundreds of men in black. How could these black-robed men avoid the attack of the ice chains? They were all bound by the terrifying coldness of the ice chains and froze there. Chapter 2764 Region Lord Wandering Wind. More than 100 men in black were all bound by Lu Ming's ice chains and frozen by the cold air. "Didn't you want to know who they are? I'll leave it to you now." Lu Ming looked at the Fu family. Only then did the Fu family people wake up from their daze. That stage 4 True G. The old man walked over and stared at a black-clothed man as he asked, "Speak, who are you? Don't even think about getting anything out of me." The black-clothed man said gloomily, "You're all wearing black robes to cover your faces and hide your heads and tails. You're afraid that people will recognize you. I'd like to see who you are." The Fu clan elder waved his hand and tore off the black robe, revealing a middle-aged man's face. Seeing this person's face, the Fu clan elder was stunned for a moment before revealing a shocked expression. He roared, "It's you, 19 guardians. Are you the people of Protectorate Lord Yufeng?" The Fu clan elder's voice trembled as if he was extremely shocked. "Region Master Wandering Wind. It's actually the Region Master Wandering Wind. We're finished." The other members of the Fu clan were also pale with fear. "Region Master Wandering Wind?" Lu Ming was puzzled. "Young hero, it's like this. After many years of war, the ancient D star has been divided into many territories. Each territory has a territory master. The Wandering Wind Region Master is the ruler of this territory. He is the overlord of this territory," the Fu clan elder explained. Lu Ming had a sudden realization. "I didn't expect that it would actually be Protectorate Lord Yufeng who sent someone to attack. I didn't expect." The Fu clan elder sighed. Their Fu clan was merely a power governed by the Wandering Wind Protectorate Lord. How could they possibly contend with the Wandering Wind Protectorate Lord? Now that Protectorate Lord Yufeng had set his eyes on them, the Fu clan would most likely be annihilated. "Since you know that we're Domain Lord Yufeng's men, why don't you let us go?" The 19 protectors said with a dark and cold expression. Since he had been recognized, he no longer had to hide it. "That's right, let us go." The other men in black also shouted. The Fu clan elder and the other Fu clan members were hesitant. Just now, so many of their people have already died. Also, that so-called Region Master Yufeng has already set his eyes on your Fu clan. Do you think that if you let these people go, the other party will let your Fu clan go? Lu Ming said calmly. "Kid, the 19 guardians and the other black-robed men are all greatly shocked. That's right, kill all of them. We can even weaken the strength of the Region Master of the Wandering Wind region." The Fu clan elder gritted his teeth and revealed a ruthless expression. "You dare?" The 19 guardians are shocked and furious. Buzz. A blade light flashed as the Fu clan's old man made his move, splitting the 19 guardians in half. "Attack! Kill them all!" The Fu clan elder roared. "Kill!" The Fu clan had all attacked the black-robed men. The men in black were bound by Lu Ming's ice chains and could not resist at all. They were killed one after another. Soon more than 100 people were all dead. Lu Ming waved his hand and kept the ice chain. "Young hero, can I invite you to the Fu family as a guest?" The Fu clan elder stammered. Next, the Fu clan would definitely have to face the revenge of the Region Master Yufeng. With their Fu clan strength, They would definitely not be able to withstand it and would only be destroyed. However, the abilities that Lu Ming had just displayed were extremely shocking. To have such combat strength at such a young age, he was definitely not from the ancient G.O.D. star. There was a high possibility that he was a genius disciple from one of the major forces in the Qin Heaven Star Zone. He wanted to ask Lu Ming for help. Perhaps he could help the Fu family tide over this crisis. What's the domain Lord Wandering Wind's cultivation base? Lu Ming asked. I heard that he's at the 8th stage of True G.D. realm. The Fu family old man said. When talking about stage 8 True G.O.D. realm, his expression was extremely solemn. An 8th stage True G.O.D. wasn't something their Fu clan could go up against. Their Fu clan's strongest expert was only at 5th stage True G.D. Stage 8 True G.O.D. realm? Alright, they'll go with you. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Lu Ming didn't take the 8th stage True G.O.D. to heart. Even if it was an 8th stage True G.O.D. who controlled King-grade divine power, Lu Ming wasn't afraid. Lu Ming would not be a match for those top geniuses who had mastered terrifying secret skills or whose divine power was of the holy grade. Thank you, young hero. The Fu clan elder was overjoyed when he heard Lu Ming's agreement. The other Fu clan members were also overjoyed. The crowd cleaned up the battlefield. Lu Ming followed the Fu clan members and headed back to the Fu clan. A group of people came to welcome him as soon as he arrived at the Fu clan. Grand Elder, what's the situation? There seems to be a big battle over there just now. A middle-aged man in luxurious clothes came over and asked the Fu clan elder. The Fu clan's old man was the Fu clan's grand elder. Clan head, there was indeed a huge battle just now. The other party is Region Master Yufeng's man. The Fu clan's first elder said. What? Region Master Wandering Wind? The Fu clan head's face was as white as snow. It's all thanks to this young hero Lu Ming that we're still alive. The first elder of the Fu family immediately explained what had happened. After the master of the Fu family heard that, he naturally thanked Lu Ming profusely and treated Lu Ming as a distinguished guest. After that, Lu Ming stayed at the Fu residence. As for the Fu clan, they were nervously on guard, waiting for the arrival of a powerful enemy. 3 days later, at dawn. Enemy attack, enemy attack. A sharp sound broke the silence of the early morning. A dense crowd of people flew out from the Fu clan's palace and laid down a defensive formation, waiting in antic. 1. Asian. It's finally here. Lu Ming muttered. He moved and left his room, standing in the air. The Fu clan was surrounded by a large crowd. A terrifying pressure was surging towards the Fu clan like a tide. Protectorate Lord Wandering Wind, it's really him. Many of the Fu clan members muttered to themselves as they stared at an old man with pale faces. This elder was dressed in a golden robe and exuded a dignified aura. He was the governor of the Wandering Wind Protectorate. Bang, bang, and Enbist. Protectorate Lord Yufeng stepped forward, causing the sky to rumble. His divine power boiled, and his powerful aura formed a terrifying pressure that enveloped the Fu clan. Many of the Fu clan members trembled and almost couldn't withstand the pressure. Protectorate Lord Yufeng, may I know how my Fu clan has offended you to the point that you've gathered so many people here? The Fu clan had braced himself and stepped forward, cupping his fists in respect. You know the answer. Hand over the map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain and you can spare your life. Region Master Wandering Wind said coldly. Zone Leader, the Fu family really doesn't have a map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain. If we did, we would have handed it over a long time ago. The Fu clan head said. He meant what he said. If he had a map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain, he would hand it over immediately in exchange for the Fu clan's peace. Humph, you don't have to quibble. The map of ancient G.O.D.S. mountain was made of point soul gold. Point soul gold has a special characteristic, which is that it can sense each other even if they are far away from each other. And I happen to have a small piece of remnant soul gold. Through the soul gold, I can sense that there is definitely some soul gold in this area, but it's so rare that there aren't many on the ancient G.O.D. D star. It's very likely that it's the map of ancient G.O.D.S. mountain. Region Master Wandering Wind said. Ancient G.O.D.S. mountain map. As soon as Protectorate Lord Yufeng finished speaking, a piece of purplish gold metal the size of a fingernail appeared in his palm. At this moment, the surface of this piece of metal was shimmering with light, as if it was resonating with something. Everyone came to a sudden realization. They finally understood why there were so many families being annihilated in the vicinity. That was because Protectorate Lord Yufeng had sensed the appearance of a little soul gold in this area through the little soul gold. It was highly likely that it was the map of ancient G.O.D.S. mountain. However, he wasn't sure of the exact location. Thus, the clans went over one by one and searched for it. However, he was afraid of being criticized by others, so he had all his subordinates wear black robes and mask their faces. But my Fu family really doesn't have any soul gold. The Fu clan head called out, his face full of helplessness. Father, could it be related to the batch of ancient objects I bought last time? At this moment, a young man came to the side of the Fu family's head and whispered, "Antique." The Fu clan head was stunned. Yes, I bought a batch of ancient objects last time and wanted to study them to see if they have any value. One of the scrolls has a similar color to this soul gold. Jiao said. The young man said, "What?" Region Master Yufeng's eyes lit up when he heard the young man's words. "What? There's such a thing. Hurry up and take it out." The head of the Fu clan hurriedly called out. "Yes." The young man nodded and took out a storage ring. The storage ring glowed, and a pile of antiques appeared in the air. They didn't seem to have any spirituality, but they looked very simple and were full of the traces of time. Especially one of the scrolls, the color was really similar to the soul gold, but the color was much darker. When these items were taken out, the soul gold in Protectorate Lord Yufeng's hand immediately shone with a dazzling light. Then, the ancient scroll suddenly shone brightly and resonated with the soul gold. Ha! The map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain. It's really the map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain. Give it to me. Region Master Wandering Wind burst out laughing. The master of the Fu family quickly grabbed the map of ancient G.O.D.S. mountain and said, "Protectorate Lord Wandering Wind, I'll hand this map to you. You must promise to let my Fu clan go." "All right, I promise you. Now, hurry up and hand it over to me." Region Master Wandering Wind said hurriedly. The Fu clan's master muttered to himself for a moment. With a wave of his hand, the map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain flew towards Protectorate Lord Yufeng and was caught by him. After he caught it in his hand, he hurriedly opened it to take a look, and his expression became even happier. "Ah, I finally got it. Now, since you have handed over the map of ancient G.O.D.S. mountain, I will give your Fu clan a quick death." Region Master Yufeng said coldly. "What? Didn't you say you would let our Fu clan go? You didn't keep your word." The patriarch of the Fu family roared. "Credibility? Last time, I sent more than 200 people here, and all of them died in your Fu clan. If your Fu clan isn't destroyed, how can I face my subordinates?" Region Master Yufeng said coldly. His eyes were extremely cold. He had no intention of letting the Fu clan go from the very beginning. "Hee, Yufeng, you're still as despicable as ever." At this moment, a sneer came from the sky. It was filled with mockery. "Who is it?" Region Master Yufeng's expression changed as he looked at the sky. "Yufeng, you can't even recognize my voice?" The voice rang out again. Buzz, buzz. Then, a few figures appeared in that direction. The leader of the group was a skinny middle-aged man. "Xiangshan, it's you." Region Master Wandering Wind's expression changed. "The Domain Lord of the Elephant Mountain region. It's the Domain Lord of the Elephant Mountain region." Someone from the Fu clan exclaimed. "It seems like it's another Domain Lord." Lu Ming had an idea. The Region Lord Yufeng ruled this region while the Region Lord Xiangshan should be the overlord who ruled the other region. "Of course it's me. Yufeng, do you want to keep the map of the ancient G.O.D. DS Mountain for yourself? Just hand it over. The domain lord of the Elephant Mountain region said coldly. You want to take the map of ancient DS Mountain from me by yourself? In your dreams. Protectorate Lord Yufeng waved the map of the ancient DS Mountain in his hand and was about to put it away in his storage ring. At this moment, a beam of light shot towards Protectorate Lord Yufeng's palm at an extremely fast speed. The attack came from behind Protectorate Lord Yufeng. It was one of his subordinates. Protectorate Lord Yufeng had never expected that his subordinate would attack him. He wanted to dodge, but it was too late. His palm was T and exploded. The ancient D map flew out. Great Guardian, you're looking for death. Die. Region Master Yufeng roared in anger. He circulated his divine power and quickly repaired his broken palm. The person who had attacked him just now was the number 1 expert under him. He was in existence at the 7th stage of True Ji realm and was his great protector. The great protector retreated quickly to prevent Region Master Yufeng from attacking. Let me tell you, your Grand Guardian has long since secretly joined my side. The domain lord of the Elephant Mountain region laughed and pounced towards the ancient DS Mountain map. Don't even think about taking my map of ancient DS Mountain. Kill him. Region Lord Yufeng roared and pounced towards the ancient DS Mountain map. At the same time, a violent attack was continuously launched towards the Xiangshan region lord. The domain lord of the Elephant Mountain region was not afraid at all. He also launched an attack. The two of them collided continuously, and their forces spread in all directions. Fortunately, the map of ancient DS Mountain was made of soul-touch gold and was extremely hard. It rolled in the strong qi and was unharmed. The Elephant Mountain region master was also at the stage 8 of the true D realm. His fighting power was not any weaker than the Wandering Wind region master. The two of them exchanged blows continuously, but neither of them could gain the upper hand. For a moment, neither of them obtained the map of the ancient DS Mountain. However, just as Yufeng and Xiangshan were fighting fiercely, a figure in the sky pounced at the ancient DS Mountain map at a very fast speed and grabbed it. This was a member of the Wings race. He had a pair of green wings on his back, and when he flapped them, his speed was astonishing. Domain Lord Yuhan, it's you. Attack! Region Lord Yufeng and Region Lord Xiangshan shouted at the same time. They couldn't be bothered with fighting and attacked the Wings race man at the same time. Another Domain Lord had arrived. It was none other than the Domain Lord Yuhan. Originally, Domain Lord Yuhan was about to get the map of the ancient DS Mountain. However, the combined attacks of Domain Lord Yufeng and Domain Lord Xiangshan were extremely powerful. He had no choice but to give up on the map of the ancient DS Mountain and defend himself with all his might. Boom, boom. Domain Lord Yuhan was forced to retreat. Meanwhile, the Domain Lord Yufeng and the Domain Lord Xiangshan pounced toward the ancient DS Mountain map and started fighting again. Domain Master Yuhan's face was gloomy. She also pounced forward. The three Domain Masters were engaged in a battle. Everyone wanted the map of the ancient DS Mountain, but no one could get it. The Fu family people were all stunned. They didn't expect to attract three Domain Lords. The map of the ancient DS Mountain was flying around in the air. A map of ancient DS Mountain? Lu Ming muttered, his eyes filled with desire. Wasn't he here to find the ancient DS Mountain? Therefore, he wanted the map of ancient DS Mountain. Lu Ming took a step forward and approached the battlefield. Killing a Domain Lord coincidentally, when Lu Ming took a step forward, the map of the ancient DS Mountain flew toward him like a bolt of lightning. Even Lu Ming himself was slightly stunned. He reached out and took the map of the ancient DS Mountain. Boy, give me the map of ancient DS Mountain. Hurry up and hand it over. The three Domain Lords, Yufeng, Xiangshan, and Yuhan, roared and pounced toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming shifted his body and moved a few hundred miles away, avoiding the attack. I want this map of ancient G.O.D.S. mountain, Lu Ming said and put away the map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain. Everyone around them was stunned. They then looked at Lu Ming as if he was an idiot. Did he want the map of ancient G.O.D.S. mountain? Do you think the 3 region lords are just for show? Wasn't this courting death? Even the 3 domain lords were stunned for a moment, and then they all released cold killing intent. Kid, I've seen stupid people, but I've never seen someone as stupid as you. Since you're looking for death, I'll fulfill your wish. Die. Region Master Yufeng shouted coldly. He pounced at Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. He's mine. Don't even think about it. Hang it from me. The domain lords of the Elephant Mountain domain and the Yuhan domain pounced on Lu Ming, trying to kill him and take his storage ring. You really think I'm a soft persimmon? Lu Ming sneered and a long spear appeared in his hand. At the same time, Lu Ming activated the tripled combat power of the battle formula. Break the sky, break! Lu Ming shouted. The divine energy in his body circulated at full force and he cast the first move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes, sky-piercing. The 3 spear lights carried a terrifying power as they pierced towards the domain Lord Yufeng, the domain Lord Xiangshan, and the domain Lord Yuhan. Boom, boom, boom. After 3 consecutive explosions, the expressions of Region Master Yufeng and the other 2 changed drastically. Their bodies trembled and they couldn't help but retreat. Lu Ming's figure swayed and he took a few steps back. What? At the scene, everyone was dumbfounded. Lu Ming had blocked the attacks of the 3 zone leaders and even forced them to retreat. How could Lu Ming have such strong combat abilities? Previously, some people felt that Lu Ming was foolish. Now, they realized that they were the foolish ones. Amazing, so amazing. The head of the Fu family and the others were also shocked. And at this brat, Region Master Yufeng and the other 2 couldn't hide the shock in their eyes. This kid is tricky. Why don't the 3 of us work together and get rid of him first? Then we can get the map of ancient G.O.D.S. mountain. Region Master Wandering Wind transmitted a message to the other 2 Region Masters. All right. I agree. Domain Lord Xiangshan and Domain Lord Yuhan nodded their heads, agreeing to join forces. From the fight just now, they knew that they were not Lu Ming's match if they were alone. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Zone Master Yufeng and the other 2 moved. They charged at Lu Ming like a pair of horns. Come on. Lu Ming muttered. The long spear vibrated and swept out. The divine power that Zone Master Yufeng and the other 2 controlled was just ordinary divine power. Although they had the cultivation of 8th tier true G.D., Lu Ming was not afraid at all. Boom. The thick spear light was like a mountain, bombarding the 3 territory lords. The 3 domain lords all used their ultimate moves and the 2 sides fought intensely. Boom, boom, boom. The sky continued to explode, and in the blink of an eye, both sides had exchanged hundreds of blows. Nice, I'll try out my new move. 3 apocalyptic strikes, moon cutting. Lu Ming's eyes glowed. The divine power in his body surged wildly and surged into the long spear. At the same time, Lu Ming cast the ice chains. A few chains swept toward the domain lord of the Elephant Mountain region and the domain lord of the Yuhan region. Lu Ming himself cast the second move of the 3 apocalyptic strikes, moon cutting. When the 3 apocalyptic strikes reached the 4th level, he could already use the second move, moon cutting. The power of this move was even stronger than piercing. Of course, the amount of divine power it consumed was even more shocking. However, Lu Ming had the measure formula. He did not care about the consumption of divine power. A ray of spear light, like a crescent moon, attacked Protectorate Lord Yufeng. This is, Protectorate Master Yufeng's pupils contracted rapidly. He could sense how terrifying Lu Ming's move was. He roared and exploded with all his strength, trying to block this move. Boom. Poochie. 2 strange sounds were heard. Then, Lu Ming's figure dashed past while Zone Master Yufeng's body stiffened in the air. His face was filled with horror. Then, his body was torn apart, and his soul was destroyed. At the sight of this scene, the domain lords of the Elephant Mountain region and the Yuhan region felt a chill run from their feet to their heads. They were almost scared to death. They retreated frantically to keep a distance from Lu Ming. The zone leader is dead. The zone leader is dead. Zone leader Yufeng's subordinates were immediately thrown into chaos. They also retreated frantically, distancing themselves from Lu Ming. Did I let you go? Stop right there. Lu Ming's gaze shifted to the domain lord of the Elephant Mountain region and the domain lord of the Yuhan region. Domain Lord Xiang Shan and Domain Lord Yuhan were both shocked. They didn't dare to stay any longer and immediately turned to run. Lu Ming's eyes turned cold as he cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Peng technique. Like a Kuan Peng, he rushed toward the two of them and overtook them in a few moments, blocking their path. I told you to stop, did you not hear me? Lu Ming said coldly. Young hero, I don't want the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain map anymore. Take it all you want. The region lord of the Elephant Mountain region said hurriedly, his body covered in cold sweat. If Lu Ming could kill Zone Master Yufeng with one shot, he could also kill him with one shot. It would be strange if he was not afraid. Yes. I don't want it either. Young hero, please take it. Domain Lord Yuhan said hurriedly. The map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain is mine. Don't leave just yet. I might need you for something else. Lu Ming said coldly. As expected, Domain Lord Xiang Shan and Domain Lord Yuhan didn't dare to move. Then, Lu Ming took out the map of the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain and opened it. There were indeed paths leading to a mysterious place, the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain. I need you to follow me and find the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain through the map. Lu Ming said. Lu Ming was unfamiliar with the ancient G.O.D.S. star. Even if he had a map, it would be very troublesome to find it. It would be better to borrow the power of the domain lord of the Elephant Mountain region and the others to find the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain faster. As for bringing the domain lord Xiang Shan and the others along, Lu Ming did not mind. He only wanted to obtain some ancient G.O.D. flowers on this trip. He did not care about Xiang Shan and the others. The eyes of the domain lord of the Elephant Mountain domain and the domain lord of the Yuhan domain lit up. They did not expect such a good thing to happen. Lu Ming wanted them to search for the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain together. Did it mean that they could enter it as well? At the thought of this, their eyes burned with passion. Don't worry, we'll definitely find it as soon as possible. The domain lord and domain lord Xiang Shan nodded their heads. Let's go, Lu Ming said. He left the place with Xiang Shan and the rest, not staying at the Fu clan. With the death of Region Lord Yufeng, the Fu clan's crisis would be resolved. Luck, our Fu clan is really lucky this time. That's right. I met young hero Lu Ming. He has blessed my Fu family. Young hero Lu Ming is the Fu family's greatest benefactor. We must make him into a G.O.D. statue and worship him every day. Looking in the direction that Lu Ming had left, the Fu family members were extremely grateful. Chapter 2767 Many maps. Lu Ming could not be bothered to worry about what the Fu clan was thinking. In the following days, the domain lord of the Elephant Mountain region and the domain lord of the Yuhan region sent out a large number of people to search for the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain according to the map. After half a month of research, they had finally determined the exact location. Then, Lu Ming, the domain lord of the Elephant Mountain region, and the domain lord of the Yuhan region led a group of experts and rushed towards their destination. They didn't notice that far behind them, there was a figure following them. This person was Lezhong. According to the map, the ancient G.O.D.S. mountain was located in the extreme north of the ancient G.O.D. star, on a deserted island in the sea of the far north. When they arrived at the deserted island, they were stunned. This was because this deserted island was completely desolate. There was no ancient G.O.D.S. mountain. Most importantly, there were already many people gathered here. They stood around the deserted island, looking for something. Region Lord Guanhao. Region Lord Chen. What are you doing here? The Elephant Mountain Region Lord widened his eyes and exclaimed. Because here he saw many domain lords and he recognized some of them. Xiang Shan, you're here too. It seems that you've also obtained a map of ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain. A burly man chuckled. He was the city lord of the Thousand Region. What do you mean? Did you also get the map of ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain? The domain lord of the Elephant Mountain Region said. Not bad. A scroll appeared in the hands of the city lord of the Thousand Region. It was the same as the one that Lu Ming and the others had. This, domain lord Xiang Shan, domain lord Yuhan, and the others were dumbfounded. Ha, are you surprised? I thought the same as you. I thought there was only one map of the ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain. Now I know there are many. More than half of the domain lords are here. I'm afraid the number of people will increase. The city lord laughed. Lu Ming, the domain lord of the Elephant Mountain Region, and the others were speechless. After so long, there were actually many maps of the ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain. Did you find the ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain? The domain lord asked again. This was what they were most concerned about. No, this place is a deserted island. Birds don't even stitch tea, and there's not even a single feather. The city lord said. Lu Ming's face darkened slightly. Nothing? Wouldn't that be a wasted trip? However, it was impossible to give up just like that. Immediately, they also began to search the deserted island carefully to see if there were any clues. As expected, as time went by, more people came from all directions of the deserted island. They were all domain masters who had come with the map of ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain. Strange, it seems like all these maps appeared at the same time. Otherwise, how could there be so many people gathering here at the same time? Lu Ming frowned and pondered. He had a feeling that everything was man-made. He was not the only one with questions. The others had questions as well. However, the temptation of the ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain was too great. No one left. Le Zhong had already blended into the crowd on the deserted island. There were at least tens of thousands of people on the island, so no one would notice him. As the days passed, more and more people arrived on the island. According to Domain Lord Xiangshan, most of the domain lords of the ancient G.O.D. star had come. They had also brought a large number of experts. That's impossible. The map of ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain was made of point soul gold. Point soul gold is rare and precious. Who would spend so much money to play such a prank? Someone said. Indeed, no one would spend so much money to play tricks on them because it was meaningless. The only explanation was that it was time for the ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain to be born. That was why the map of the ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain had appeared all over the ancient G.O.D. star in such a short time. There are so many maps of the ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain. Maybe it is meaningful. Why don't we take out everyone's maps and see if there is anything strange? Someone suggested. All right, I agree. I also agree. Many people nodded in agreement. Then, those who had a map of the ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain all took out their maps. Lu Ming took it out as well. There were at least hundreds of maps of the ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain. As soon as these maps were taken out, they resonated with each other, and the maps became shiny. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. Then, the maps flew out in a certain direction of the deserted island and stopped at a place. The hundreds of maps formed a strange trajectory and spun rapidly in the air. Runes suddenly appeared in the sky like a spider web. There's a reaction. Many people were ecstatic. If there was a reaction, it meant that the map was real. More and more runes appeared in the void. In the end, the void began to spin, forming a pitch-black vortex. But then, the vortex slowly became clear, and the scenery behind the vortex could be seen. It was a divine mountain that was incomparably huge, towering into the sky. The ancient G.O.D.S. Mountain. Many people's eyes were filled with ecstasy. They had finally found ancient Jianghu mountain. In the distant past, the descendants of the ancient Jianghu had lived there. Legend had it that there were countless treasures inside. Lu Ming's eyes lit up slightly. There was an ancient Jianghu flower on ancient Jianghu mountain. If he could get the flower, his divine body would be enhanced, and he would be able to cultivate the battle symbol art. Let's go! Someone couldn't take it anymore and rushed into the whirlpool. In a flash, he entered the whirlpool and appeared on the other side. I'm fine. Hurry, charge. Charge! Seeing that the people in front of them were fine, most of them couldn't help but rush towards the whirlpool, afraid that they would be one step slower and the treasure would be taken away. The domain lords of the Elephant Mountain region and the Yuhan region did not care about Lu Ming anymore and rushed into the vortex. Lu Ming mixed in with the crowd and rushed into the ancient Jianghu mountain. I didn't expect to encounter the legendary ancient Jianghu mountain when I came to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming is my lucky star. He laughed coldly and followed them into the vortex. Lu Ming dashed into the vortex and appeared on a huge rock. Lu Ming looked ahead and realized that they had come to the middle of a huge valley. This valley was very large, with a width of more than 1,000 miles, and on both sides were cliffs that reached into the clouds. They had tens of thousands of people entering this place. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. Many people had already rushed into the depths of the valley. Lu Ming sized up his surroundings and rushed into the depths of the valley. Boom. Suddenly, there was a violent explosion in front of them. A group of people were fighting fiercely. The ancient Jianghu flower is mine. Get lost. You're the one who should get lost. The angry roars made Lu Ming's heart skip a beat. The ancient Jianghu flower appeared? Lu Ming hurriedly rushed over. Indeed, he saw a dark red flower growing between a crack in the stone. The flower was full and glistening, emitting a strong energy fluctuation. It really was an ancient Jianghu flower. It was exactly the same as what was recorded in the books. "2,768 Black Skeleton and NBSP. Dozens of experts were fighting near the ancient Jianghu flower. With a miserable cry, a sixth-stage true Jianghu expert was killed, and fresh blood flowed all over the ground. In the battle, there were a few domain lord-level characters. Existences at the sixth stage of true Jianghu realm were naturally not enough. The others looked around and did not fight for it. An ancient Jianghu flower was not worth it. Even more people rushed into the depths of the valley. Perhaps there were more ancient Jianghu flowers in the valley. Lu Ming took a look but did not make a move. An ancient Jianghu flower had limited uses, so there was no need to reveal their true strength in advance. Lu Ming moved his body and headed deep into the valley. As expected, more and more ancient Jianghu flowers appeared in the depths of the valley. Every time an ancient Jianghu flower appeared, it would cause a huge battle. Many people would fight for it. Although the cultivation of divine power was the main focus of the primal universe, the strength of the divine body was also very important. Some secret skills had requirements for the strength of the divine body. Furthermore, the stronger the divine body, the stronger the life force. Treasures that could improve the divine body were all very precious, so the compet 1 tie-in was naturally intense. However, Lu Ming did not make a move. He increased his speed and rushed into the depths of the valley. Kid, be careful. Someone is trying to kill you. At this moment, a voice came from Lu Ming's sea of consciousness. Someone wants to kill me? Lu Ming did not freeze for a moment. He was on guard. Wait, this sound. All of a sudden, Lu Ming stopped in his tracks, his face filled with shock. That was because the voice that had just sounded in his sea of consciousness was very unfamiliar. It was not the voice of the measure formula or the battle formula, but another voice. However, in his sea of consciousness, besides the quant 1 tie formula and the battle formula, was there anything else? Who is it? Who is in my sea of consciousness? Lu Ming shouted with his mental energy. Kid, there's something in your painting. This time, it was the sound of the quant. 1. Thai formula. A painting? Lu Ming immediately thought of Jianghu's portrait. However, the remnant mark that Jianghu had left behind had already disappeared. The portrait on it had also disappeared. Could there be something else in the portrait? Kid, what's there to be surprised about? Ever since you obtained Jianghu's portrait, I've been around. I've been observing you all this time, but you just didn't notice me. The unfamiliar voice from before rang out once more, and as expected, it came from the portrait of Jianghu. Then, Lu Ming was surprised to see an arm stretching out from the portrait. However, this arm was not made of flesh and blood. It was a piece of bone that was black in color, as if it was made of black jade. Then, Lu Ming saw a skeleton crawl out of Jianghu's portrait. It was a skeleton that was as black as jade. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. There was actually a skeleton hidden within the startled feather painting. What was going on? Who was this skeleton? Could it be Jianghu himself? In an instant, dozens of thoughts flashed through Lu Ming's mind. Brat, don't be too surprised. I've told you that someone wants to kill you. They're already close. If you want to die, then continue to be in a daze. The skeleton continued. Lu Ming immediately collected his thoughts. As expected, he felt waves of cold aura spreading towards him. At the same time, a dark-skinned elder rapidly approached Lu Ming and a sword light stabbed at the back of Lu Ming's heart. Fast, accurate, and ruthless. It was done in one go, a one-hit kill. Furthermore, it was shockingly powerful. If not for the black skeleton's warning, Lu Ming would have been in danger. However, after the black skeleton's reminder, Lu Ming had already reacted in advance. In an instant, Lu Ming had already cast the 9-layered crimson gold armor. A layer of crimson gold armor covered his entire body. At the same time, Lu Ming quickly turned around and thrust his spear, aiming at the sword gleam. Buzz! The long spear and the sword light clashed, creating an ear-piercing collision sound, and the force spread in all directions. However, the power of the sword light was shockingly strong. The terrifying sword chi made the long spear vibrate continuously. Then, it paused, set through the long spear and headed for Lu Ming. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming's golden-red armor shook violently and was torn apart. Lu Ming's body was sent flying backward, smashing into a 100-meter-tall boulder. His body was covered with sword wounds and blood was flowing out. Fortunately, the sword gleam said through the spear and the scarlet gold armor one after another. Its power was no longer strong, and Lu Ming only suffered some superficial injuries. The dark-skinned elder was stunned that he did not manage to kill Lu Ming with one strike. He seemed to be very surprised. Who are you? Why do you want to kill me? Lu Ming stared at the dark-skinned elder and shouted coldly. This old man's strength was very terrifying. His cultivation was at peak stage 9 true G. D, and he controlled king-grade divine power. With Lu Ming's current abilities, if he were to go all out, he could fight with an ordinary 9th stage true G. However, if he were to encounter a peak 9th stage true G. D, he would most likely be no match for him. Moreover, the other party had also mastered king-grade divine power, and his abilities were far above his. Most importantly, Lu Ming did not know this old man. Kill! The dark-skinned elder did not say anything. He shouted coldly and pounced at Lu Ming like lightning. Before he even arrived, streaks of terrifying sword light were already pouring down on Lu Ming. Ice chains. Lu Ming's mind flickered and 8 ice chains flew out like 8 long dragons, entangling the swarthy elder. Buzz! And NBSP whoosh! His opponent's sword light kept striking the ice chains, causing sparks to fly. The ice chains kept shaking, and sword marks appeared on them. However, they still managed to block his attack. At the same time, a terrifying chill spread towards the dark-skinned elder, causing him to shiver. Secret skill, Ice Shackles. This kid has actually cultivated the ice shackles. The dark-skinned elder was shocked. Then, he growled and an even more terrifying divine power burst out from his body. Sword light burst forth continuously, shaking off the ice chains that were binding him and heading toward Lu Ming. The three apocalyptic strikes, moon-cutting, die. Lu Ming bellowed and used his strongest move. A crescent-shaped attack was aimed at the swarthy elder. Boom. The two of them collided once again, and a shocking force erupted between them. Retreat, quickly retreat. On the side, the others were shocked and retreated. A few of the weaker ones were killed by the energy from the collision. What terrifying strength. Who are these two? They're even stronger than many domain lords. Many people were shocked. Perhaps only the most terrifying domain lords on the ancient Jianghu star could match such a fighting power. Brat die! The dark-skinned elder roared as divine power poured into his body. The sword light expanded and Lu Ming's body trembled. He was sent flying backward and spat out a mouthful of blood. Now is the time. Lu Ming's eyes flickered and another ice chain flew out from his body. This was the last ice chain, and it was also the strongest one. It was the one that had been refined into a mysterious liquid. (2770) Ancient Jianghu Sea of Flowers. The dark-skinned elder clearly did not expect Lu Ming to have such a move. He was slightly shocked. At the same time, he changed the stance of his sword and slashed at the 9th ice chain. However, when his combat sword struck the 9th ice chain, his expression changed drastically. That was because he felt an extremely terrifying chill coming toward him. It was as if it was going to freeze his blood and even his divine power. The other ice chains trembled and wrapped around the dark-skinned old man, trying to trap him to death. This brat, what a shocking technique! The dark-skinned elder was shocked. He no longer cared about hiding his identity. At this moment, he exploded with all his strength. Boom! His body erupted like a volcano. His divine power surged and attacked the coldness on his body. At the same time, sword lights burst out and swept away the ice chains. However, even if he used all his strength, it was difficult for him to maintain his disguise. His body and muscles began to change, revealing his original appearance. Lu Zhong! Lu Ming roared, his murderous intent cold. That's right. This dark-skinned elder was Lu Zhong. He had disguised himself and seemed to have cultivated some secret technique. Even his aura was hidden. Lu Ming did not recognize him at all. Lu Ming, you've really surprised me. You've actually forced me to reveal my true form. However, you still have to die. Lu shouted coldly, his eyes extremely cold. I must kill Lu Ming today, he roared in his heart. Lu Ming was too terrifying. He was so young and his cultivation was only at the first stage of true Jianghu, but his combat strength was so terrifying that it was hard to imagine. He was only at the first stage of the true Jianghu realm, but under his continuous attacks, he was only injured and not dead. If he didn't see it with his own eyes, he would find it hard to believe. If Lu Ming was given a period of time to grow, he would be more powerful. After some time, he was afraid that he would die in Lu Ming's hands. Therefore, he had to kill Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Zhong exploded with all his strength and charged at Lu Ming. Let's go! This time, Lu Ming turned around and left. He could not be bothered to fight with Lu Zhong. With his current strength, he was indeed not Lu Zhong's match. Even if he used all his means, he would still be no match for him. Since he was no match for him, it would be too stupid to continue fighting. This old fellow, I'll kill him later. Lu Ming thought to himself. As long as he got the ancient Jianghu flower, his divine body would transform and he would be able to cultivate the battle character formula with 4 times his combat power. Then he only needed to break through one more stage to reach the second stage of true Jianghu. Lu Ming was confident that he could fight Lu Zhong and even kill him. Lu Ming cast the 9 heavenly Kuan Ping technique and rushed into the depths of the valley. You want to leave? I will kill you no matter where you go today. He shouted coldly and chased after Lu Ming rapidly. The two of them, one chasing and the other escaping, continued to go deep into the valley. Of course, there were also others who had been rushing into the depths of the valley. And NBSP, however, ancient Jianghu flowers appeared from time to time along the way, and some people stopped to fight for them. After flying for a while, suddenly, a strong fragrance came from ahead. At the same time, there was an extremely dense energy fluctuation that permeated the air. All of a sudden, Lu Ming's figure could not help but stop. He widened his eyes and looked ahead in a daze. "Brat, why aren't you running anymore?" Lu Zhong caught up with him quickly, but before he could finish his words, his figure stopped. His eyes were wide open as he looked in front of him in disbelief. It wasn't just the two of them. Some of the other people who had rushed here were also in the same state. He was dumbfounded and tongue-tied, but immediately after that he felt a deep sense of greed. That was because the front was filled with ancient Jianghu flowers. There was a flat piece of land in front of them. There were valleys in 8 directions on this piece of land. The valley that Lu Ming and the others were in was only one of the 8. The 8 valleys converged here. This place was filled with ancient Jianghu flowers. There was an uncountable number of ancient Jianghu flowers. It was like an ocean of ancient Jianghu flowers, swaying and mesmerizing. Gulu. Even Lu Ming could not help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. He had never expected there to be so many ancient Jianghu flowers here. 10,000 flowers? 20,000? In short, it was hard to count. I'm rich. With so many ancient Jianghu flowers, how strong can my Jianghu body be? The crowd finally reacted. Many of them rushed toward the ancient Jianghu flowers with red eyes. Ancient Jianghu flower, Lu Zhong's eyes were filled with greed. He could not care less about killing Lu Ming and pounced on the ancient Jianghu flower. His desire for the ancient Jianghu flower was stronger than his desire to kill Lu Ming. Buzz. Lu Ming also rushed forward. His divine power condensed into a huge hand and grabbed an ancient Jianghu flower. However, he couldn't grab it. Runes began to appear at the flower's roots, forming a circle of light that protected the flower. There's a great formation protecting it. This ancient Jianghu flower is actually protected by a great formation. Lu Ming was shocked. He tried to grab another ancient Jianghu flower, but the result was the same. When Lu Ming grabbed it, runes emerged from the root of the ancient Jianghu flower, forming a circle of light that enveloped the ancient Jianghu flower. What's going on? I actually can't pick it. This ancient Jianghu flower is protected by a formation. 1535 The others also roared. They couldn't pick a flower, not a single one. All the ancient Jianghu flowers were protected by the formation, which made everyone's faces extremely gloomy. It was like a gold mountain in front of him, but he couldn't get it. Amazing, amazing. This is a huge array with all the ancient Jianghu flowers planted in the eye of the array. There are so many eyes of the array. What is the person who set up the array trying to do? In his sea of consciousness, the black skeleton sat on the painting and muttered to himself. He was looking at everything outside. They're all planted in the eye of the formation. The gaze from inside also focused. Lu Ming naturally heard the black skeleton's words. There was a huge wave in his heart. If that was the case, then this formation was incredible. How many formation eyes were there? The others all tried to pick other ancient Jianghu flowers, but without exception, they all failed. No one was able to pick a single ancient Jianghu flower. At this moment, more and more people came from behind. When they saw the ocean of ancient Jianghu flowers, they were also shocked. Then, they joined the group to pick the flowers. Naturally, no one was able to pick a single flower. Bush, bush, bush. Suddenly, a terrifying air-piercing sound came from all directions. They were arrows that were like black lightning, shooting toward Lu Ming and the rest. Lu Ming was shocked. A long spear appeared and swept out continuously, deflecting a few arrows. And NBSP, but not everyone reacted so quickly. Screams rang out as many people were shot by arrows and died in the ancient Jianghu flower sea. 2770 Ancient G. Oh, DS descendant, who is it? Someone shouted and looked in all directions. Then everyone was shocked. A large group of people had appeared on the cliffs of the valley. These people held large bows in their hands and stood on the cliff wall, surrounding them. Trace ba. This, sirs of Ancient G. This mountain will die. On the northern cliff, there was a young man with a cold expression. He spoke coldly. You guys? Are you a descendant of an Ancient G? Oh, D? Someone exclaimed. The others were also shocked. Descendants of Ancient G. Oh, DS? Didn't the descendants of the Ancient G. Oh, DS disappear for countless years? It was said that the descendants of the Ancient G. Oh, DS had been exterminated, leaving only the Ancient G. Oh, DS mountain. Was that all fake? Could it be that the descendants of the Ancient G. Oh, DS had been hiding in the Ancient G. Oh, DS mountain all these years? Since the descendants of the Ancient G. Oh, DS hadn't been destroyed, why hadn't they appeared after so many years? Many people's minds were filled with questions. However, the descendants of the Ancient G. Oh, DS obviously wouldn't answer their questions. Kill! On the northern cliff, the young man waved his hand and gave the order. Instantly, the descendants of the Ancient G. Oh, DS drew their bows and knocked their arrows. One after another, arrows whistled through the air and shot toward Lu Ming and the others. After all, the Ancient G. Oh, D flower was protected by a formation, so they weren't afraid of hurting it. People were constantly shot by the arrows and died on the spot, blood flowing all over the ground. Many of these descendants of Ancient G. Oh, DS had astonishing strength. Most of them were at the true G realm, and the arrows they shot out had astonishing power. Other than the Domain Lord level ones, no one else could block it 100%. I don't care if they're the descendants of the Ancient G. DS. Charge forward and kill them. Someone shouted and rushed up the cliff, attacking the descendant of the Ancient G. You overestimate yourself. Get down. Get lost. On the cliff wall, some burly figures appeared. Their muscles bulged like horned dragons winding around them, full of power. The strength of these people was very shocking. The moment they attacked, the sky shook violently. Those who charged towards the cliff were all jolted down, even those at the Domain Lord level. Bang! Lu Ming stomped on the ground and dashed toward the eastern cliff like a long spear. Get down! A middle-aged man charged at Lu Ming and threw a few consecutive punches. The terrifying force of his punches crushed toward Lu Ming. Strong, shockingly strong. Although this middle-aged man was only in the true G. Oh, D realm, he had definitely reached the peak of stage 9 true G. Oh, D realm. His battle strength was not weaker than Li Zhong's, and he might even be stronger. Lu Ming burst out with all his strength and swept his long spear horizontally. However, the fist force of the other party came crushing down. Lu Ming's body retreated rapidly as if he was being crushed by a mountain, and he fell down into the valley. What a powerful strength! Lu Ming felt numb all over. The qi and blood in his body were boiling, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. And NBSP, he realized that his opponent's divine power was not too bad, but the strength of his divine body was astonishing. It was much stronger than other cultivators. When they worked together, their combat power would be very strong. A descendant of an Ancient G. Oh. Lu Ming was certain that the other party was a descendant of an Ancient G. Oh. D. According to the legends, when the primeval universe was first created, a group of Ancient G. Oh. D-lay spirits were born naturally. These Ancient G. Oh. D-lay spirits could be said to be the earliest life forms in the primeval universe. The earliest G. Oh. D-lay spirits were born with terrifying power. In particular, their divine bodies were freakishly strong. The earliest and most ancient G. Oh. DS were Ancient G. DS. The descendants of the Ancient G. Oh. DS on the Ancient G. Oh. D star, as their name suggested, were said to be the descendants of an Ancient G. Oh. D. Although their bloodline was extremely thin, their divine bodies were still stronger than ordinary people. For a moment, no one could rush out of this place. Behind them, there were still people rushing over. Soon, more than 10,000 people who had entered the ancient Jianghu mountain had all gathered here. Almost everyone's here, so let's send them on their way. On the northern cliff, the young man said coldly. Then he raised his arm high and his voice resounded throughout the entire area. Activate the formation and kill all the intruders. Sumo ordered. Activate the formation. Someone shouted. Buzz. And NBSP whoosh. After that, dense runes appeared on the cliff walls in all directions. The ancient Jianghu flowers' roots beneath their feet were also covered in runes. Countless runes interwove with each other, forming a large formation. The area was enveloped by a blood-red light shield. Lu Ming and the rest were all enveloped by this light shield. The descendants of the ancient Jianghu were outside the light barrier. Not good. Many people's expressions changed drastically, and they had a bad feeling in their hearts. Retreat! Someone shouted. He no longer cared about the ancient Jianghu flower and rushed toward the valley they had come from. All sorts of attacks were launched at the light shield. However, when these attacks landed on the light shield, they did not cause any ripples. The light shield did not move at all. Attack! More people joined in the attack, but it was of no use. Hee, these fools still want to escape. Once you enter this formation, you're destined to die here. The young man on the northern cliff laughed coldly. It's starting, said an old man next to the young man coldly. At this moment, some blood-red mist suddenly appeared within the formation's light barrier. Someone let out a blood-curdling scream as the blood-red mist enveloped him. His body began to corrode violently. His flesh and blood were melting rapidly, and in a few breaths, he had turned into a pool of liquid. The people who witnessed this scene were so frightened that their livers and guts trembled. But immediately, more screams were heard. More blood-red mist emerged from the ground. Some people were shrouded in the blood-red mist and followed in the footsteps of the previous person. Charge out. I don't want to die. And NBSP everyone roared and crazily attacked the light barrier, but it was to no avail. Within the light shield, the blood-red mist grew thicker and thicker. Lu Ming was enveloped by a blood-red mist. He used all his divine power to resist it, but even if it was the ruler's divine power, there was a sizzling sound of corrosion. If this went on, he would not be able to resist for long. This mist was extremely terrifying. Even divine power would find it hard to resist. Those with strong cultivation and above stage 7 of true Jianghu could still resist for the time being. As for those with weak cultivation, they couldn't resist at all. Their protective divine power was corroded, and their bodies were corroded by the blood-red mist. They let out mournful cries and then turned into a pool of blood-red liquid. In the beginning, it was those below stage 3 true Jianghu who couldn't withstand it. However, as the blood-red mist became thicker and thicker, slowly, those who were stage 4 true Jianghu and above also started to be unable to withstand it. Let me out, let me out. I don't want to die. Spare me. Many people screamed and began to beg for mercy. However, the descendants of the ancient Jianghu had cold expressions and were unmoved. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.